Thanks for listening to the Von Haessler Doctrine podcast. Remember, you can hear the show every weekday from 9 to noon right here on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Live from Sherwood Forest in the heart of Atlanta, Georgia, Hour 1 of the Von Haessler Doctrine begins right now. I am your lovable, huggable, mid-morning chat host, Eric Von Haessler. Surrounded by the eminently huggable Doctrinaires, Tim Andrews is here, Autumn Fisher, and of course, Jared Yamamoto.
Good morning.
Later on, we're going to have Jay Black in the 10 o'clock hour to really parse the game yesterday. But before we go into headlines, why don't we just go ahead and deal with this? Yesterday, the Braves were so close to getting past this NLDS round, and it just didn't happen.
Molina in the air, left field. Duvall's got a great arm, but that is deep. Wong ready to run. He tags. Here he comes. Duvall's throw, no chance. And the Cardinals have won Game 4.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Let me just say this, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time at the top of the hour, in this hour. Like I say, we'll talk to Jay Black later. But, you know, I have one of those systems in case I'm a paranoid guy, so I'm afraid people get in my house. So not only do I have video, but I have microphones everywhere. I'm like Dick Nixon in the early 70s. Everything in my house gets recorded on audio and video, and just so I have evidence. I know what a good person I am, and if anybody ever tries to set me up with anything, I think that was Von Haessler's car that drove away. But like, oh yeah, Your Honor? Time-stamped. That's me in my living room eating sunflower seeds in my underwear. Look at the timestamp. There's no way that I was there. There's no way that I was the getaway driver for the bank robbery. It just didn't happen. So I can always tell you how I responded to moments. Now, before I just want to say this to everybody listening, I want to admit straight up, I am a casual baseball fan. Not like motorsports or football or even to a certain degree basketball. I'm a casual baseball fan. I'm not an expert. The way that it works for me with interest in the baseball season is if the Braves are good, I get interested early on. That's what happened this year. If the Braves aren't any good, about this time every year is when I start watching baseball games. I'm no expert. I could be wrong. But I will tell you, well, we have the audio. So the moment that Josh Tomlin, after retiring 3 batters in a row at the bottom of the 7th, right? Then get to the top of the 8th, he retires the first batter. Then it's time for the 2 sluggers that have been killing us in this series, and that is Goldschmidt and Ozuna. And Tomlin is pulled. After getting rid of 4 batters in a row, Snitker doesn't think about it. There's no nothing. Boom, we're going to pull him, and we're going to go to the pen. And this is exactly what happened at my house when that happened. That is analytics-driven bullshit. That is what happened at my house. Now, again, I am not an expert at baseball, but I watch a lot of sports. Just ask my wife. She's getting a little tired of it. I watch a lot of sports, and I don't want to be one of these old guys that says analytics is ruining sports. I don't really think that that's true, but it's starting to get out of hand, right? So you got one guy in that game that's showing you he's pitching lights out. But we've got these batters coming up, and, well, the metrics show us that this guy against that guy, and in the 57.8% of the time, that would work out. And if we leave this guy on the mound, look, it's only 53.4% of the time. So, therefore, Snitker didn't even think about it. No one in the dugout thought about it. Do human beings manage sports anymore, or is it just computers? Why don't I get rid of the human beings? I'm seeing it in football. I'm seeing it in basketball. I'm scratching my head. Why did they go for 4th and 2? Oh, there's a thing that said from here on the field, the likelihood of getting 4th and 2 is 1.7% higher than actually making the field goal. So don't be a human being. Hey, you got to coach from your head and your gut, and then use analysis. I think you'd be a horrible team if you didn't use any of this analysis that's out there. But are you controlling? It's like a drug. Is it recreational? This is how you know. Is my drug use, and I'm including alcohol in that, is that recreational or is it a problem? Well, there's a very easy way to understand this. This is a good question. Are you using the drugs or are the drugs using you? You answer that question, you'll find out if it's recreational or if you've got a problem. So I would say the same thing about metrics and analysis. Are you using them or are they using you? Now, everybody can get on me. I've freely admitted I'm not a baseball expert, but I'm noticing this in sport all over the place. You have to manage or coach from the head and the gut. And I believe in that moment, when you had the 2 hottest sluggers coming up, I'm sticking with the hot pitcher. I don't care what the analysis tells me. He's hot. He's lights out right now, and these guys are hitting everything they come in contact with. You know what? As a fan, Eric von Haessler is not angry if Tomlin stays in there and gives up a hit because it all makes sense. All right, tip your cap. They did it, but we stayed with our hot hand. But the analysis says that we need we got this guy in a bullpen, and the analysis gives us... Once again, the moment that Tomlin was pulled in my house. That is analytics-driven bullshit. Let's do this.
Headlines for Tuesday, October 8th.
All right, so.
Well, I do have some bright news for you.
Well, there's always bright news. They're coming back home, the Bravos.
That's right. Tomorrow.
Freddie's not Freddie. Come on. I mean, he's hurt. He's hurt.
Clearly.
I mean, I think he's still seeing everything. There's no reason not to, but his brain's telling his body to do things that his body usually can do, and it's just not there.
But
do you think he should be moved down?
But yeah, definitely they need to move down the line.
Where would you move him?
I would move Freeman probably down to 6th in the lineup, honestly, just because you've got a major problem. He's a hole in the lineup.
And guys like Dansby are pretty
Albies, Acuna, Dansby, they're all hitting well. Even, you got to start Duvall probably.
I mean, like Acuna, am I wrong? Acuna got on every time he got to bat, or maybe once didn't. I mean, it was a pretty remarkable game.
He definitely had a single, a triple, and I think he had a double as well. Don't quote me on that.
We would have had a better chance if it wasn't for that. That is analytics-driven bullshit. Yes.
But, we just need to remain positive. You know what? As Atlanta fans, I know it's
positive.
It's been since 2001 since we went through the division series. And you know what? It's going to be just fine, Eric. We've seen Game 5 before, right? We're going to be just
that
here.
Motorcycle gang leader had to be the guy who ultimately makes it happen. I got a feeling Molina, I think that's going to feel like really in reality, in real life, he probably is just the nicest guy in the world. But man, oh man.
Whole family of catchers.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was like, this guy is amazing. He's obviously an amazing teammate. Man, but I don't like him while he's wearing the wrong uniform.
Hey, come on. 5 o'clock tomorrow, SunTrust Park. The battery's going to be lighting up. You'll have WSB to get you there, to the ballpark and leaving the ballpark. It's going to be great. We're going to turn the table.
We're going to turn the tables.
We're going to turn the table.
No, listen. I believe that the Atlanta Braves will win on Wednesday. I do that. I believe in my soul that they will dig down and find a way. But we're going to need Fulton Nevitz. I said I wasn't going to talk about it. We'll talk about this later.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm just so angry about that one move that I responded to. That is analytics-driven bullshit. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, Jay Black will find a nice stop in the WSB Biscuit Mobile.
That's right. Yeah, he's on his way.
Well, sabermetrics are important.
I remember in radio, there's a time they'd actually get you an airplane ticket. Those days are over.
Yeah, I couldn't trade it out.
Yeah, poor guy.
I would JetBlue. Anyway.
Poor guy driving all over the place.
Well, I get reimbursed for gas.
Yeah, within a year. All right.
Mitch McConnell and several Republicans are urging President Trump to reconsider his troop removal strategy from the Syria-Turkey border.
Yeah, this is starting to rankle a little bit, and I know that it doesn't. I think you got to remember that Trump was elected in part saying he was going to get us out of these things. You have some audio from him, I believe, where he's saying something along those lines.
I do. You have some audio. Here it is, right here. I was looking at my cut sheet. There it is.
When do we get out? There's going to be a time we get out. We have to bring our people back home. And frankly, our great soldiers have been talking about this on the campaign. You go back 3 years ago and more, and you watch the speeches. We want to bring our soldiers back home. These are the endless wars, and that's what we're doing.
There's nothing wrong with that. All right. The problem with this Syria situation isn't whether or not Trump wants to stay or Trump wants to go. The problem is the erratic nature of the foreign policy. Declaring wild policy shifts on Twitter is not the way to do this. The way to do it is to emerge today or tomorrow and say, I promised the American people I would get us out of these endless wars, unbeknownst to you, and in private and behind the scenes for the last 2 years. We have been working on this plan, and only now, look at me, I didn't tweet one word about it, going on for 2 years, and only now can I emerge and let you know how this is going to work and how I'm going to get us out of these endless wars. You don't get out of endless wars by waking up one day and going, I'm not in the mood anymore, which is basically what is happening here.
The American taxpayer is not going to spend 50 years of paying tax or whatever it may be that they're wherever they may be. For instance, Guantanamo or, for instance, prisons in the United States. The American taxpayer won't put up with that.
How many times are we going to screw over the Kurds? What? Huh, Eric? I'm too busy thinking about Pelosi and whether or not bullying is important. I haven't thought about the Kurds. The Kurds, hey, you remember when, Trump is pretty proud of getting rid of ISIS, as he should be. 11,000 Kurdish fighters died fighting back ISIS. And this will be the second time we have screwed them over. The first Bush screwed them over after the first Persian Gulf War, and they were slaughtered. They helped us then. They've been helping us since 9/11, and they certainly helped us fight back ISIS. Now, I'm a taxpayer too, and I don't want endless wars either. But it just makes simple sense that the next time we need help over there, they may pass. They might just take a pass. And Trump tweeted something like, well, what are they upset about? We gave them a lot of money and tanks.
They don't know how to operate a tank.
Meanwhile, also, there's more there, actually. Let me tell you dig in deeper. There's still thousands of ISIS fighters who were captured, who are being held in that territory, and they are being held by the Kurdish fighters. So Trump says, we're going to pull back. Turkey's going to take over the fighters. And nobody knows how this is going to happen because Turkey hates the Kurds. The real deal is Turkey doesn't want the Kurds near their border. They want what they call a safe area. They want the Kurds back like 50 miles or more or something along those lines. So the question is, so far, the Kurds have been doing a good job holding these ISIS fighters that no one else will take. We don't want them. Europe doesn't want them. The countries of origin, if they're in the Middle East, don't want them. They're just there. And the Kurds we haven't heard a bunch of stories about, jailbreaks and ISIS people so they've been doing a good job holding them. And I don't even know what, perpetuity? I don't know. Are there trials? I doubt it. So they're doing a good job. Now their enemy, Turkey, is going to come after them. Okay, now I got to turn all of my military force to fighting my foe, Turkey. What happens to these prisons or whatever they are where they're holding these ISIS members as their attention gets turned to fighting Turkey? Doesn't matter what you want or what I want. Turkey and the Kurds hate each other, and they're going to fight each other. That's a fait accompli. So what happens to the ISIS fighters? And if you were critical of Obama for pulling out and then ISIS emerged as part of the pullout in Iraq, are you applying the same standard here? I'm a taxpayer just like you. I don't like endless wars. But I'll tell you right now, there isn't a war in history. Next 100, 200, 300, 400 years, you mark my words. You can put it in granite. Put it at the bottom of my statue. No war in history will ever be ended on Twitter. Sorry, folks, it doesn't work. It's important to you and the person who's typing, but that's it. The Kurds aren't going to change their behavior because of how. And then Trump says something like, "Oh my God, that tweet was unbelievable." I don't have it in front of me, but it was something along the lines of, "If the Turks do anything that I don't like, that I decide," he says something like, "in my infinite wisdom,"
Something like that.
"then I will wipe out their economy." There's a little bit of paper tiger stuff going on here. You really think Turkey believes that Trump is going to care enough about the Kurds that he's going to actually do the things necessary to wipe out Turkey's economy? And is that what the globe needs? For Turkey's economy to be wiped out? Again, this is the thing. It doesn't work anymore. This country is broken. It's social media. It's a lot of other things. Here's the problem. Good governance is rarely entertaining. And we're 50-50 right now, not just left-right. We expect our governance to be effective, hopefully, but entertaining. Well, we got all these 24-hour news networks. That's a lot of time to fill. So we need personalities. It's funny, there are almost no shock jocks left on radio because they're all in government.
Irreverent.
Entertaining. Gut-busting.
Very funny. And doesn't toe any party line.
I think it's a great show.
The Von Haessler Doctrine on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
You have that tweet that, Mr. President, what were you saying about Turkey?
Well, I listened to what you said earlier in the show, and I wanted to say, as I have stated strongly before, and this is a tweet from the other day, maybe yesterday, I'm not really sure. Just to reiterate, if Turkey does anything that I, in my great and unmatched wisdom, consider to be off limits, I will totally destroy and obliterate the economy of Turkey. I've done before.
You've done before?
Yes.
You've totally obliterated the economy of Turkey before?
I've done before. It says it right there in the tweet.
You've done before.
They must, with Europe and others, watch themselves.
All right, what do you
Now,
have
if you'll excuse me, I need to continue fighting with the mayor of Minneapolis on Twitter, and I have to retweet Chachi. Chachi. I like to say it. Chachi. Yeah. He's a good guy, Chachi. He ended up being on another show. Chachi in Charge. Did you watch that?
I did not watch Chachi.
Chachi in Charge. Wow, what a great guy. Poor thing about Joni.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know, then things didn't go right for her.
What? Oh, she was a liberal?
No, she was a drug addict, I believe.
Oh, even sadder. Sad. Remember that episode, where
Yes, President
the
Trump. I'm Jared.
stagecoach went wild in the Dude Ranch?
I've never seen the show.
Two-parter. Check it out.
You've never seen Happy Days?
Two-parter. Dude Ranch.
Oh, that two-parter. I think even back then, even though I was just a mere teen, I mean, I think I was 13 or 14.
Yeah.
Even then, I said, wow, Happy Days just ain't what it used to be. That was the beginning of the end when they went to the Dude Ranch for
that
two
and the
parts.
Malachi Crunch.
To prove how ignorant I am when it comes to baseball. As I say, I'm a casual fan of baseball. If the Braves are good, like this year, I get into it all year long. If they're not good, about now is when I start looking. And, you know, I've been around I've lived with baseball in America all my life, been a casual fan. But I don't know it the way that I know the NFL, the way I know football, the way I know basketball or motorsports. But I've been looking at it a long time. But my ignorance is so bad that I will tell you this. I've looked it up a couple. You ever look things up and then it won't stick in your head and you have to look it up again? Like, there's certain things in life I just have to keep looking up. And I've looked up the shift. The defensive shift. It's just one that I cannot understand what that is. That's how. So you guys can explain to me later with Jay Black.
Of course.
I've looked it up. I've seen what it is. It just won't stick in my brain. I know it's the thing that modern day ball players love, and it's the thing that old school ball players think is killing the game. So I really need to figure out what the hell it is. Let's do this.
Tech Tuesday with Greg Rudd.
All right, Gregory, how are you?
What up, Eric?
Well, what up, Greg?
This is the problem with looking things up these days. It is harder to store it to memory because you know it's there.
You can always go back.
You read it, and even if you tell yourself, I'm going to keep that in my brain, there's part of your brain that says, nah, you don't have to do that. I need that room. It's there. It's stored on the internet.
You know, my brain, and you're only 37 years old, still a youngster. But as I get older, I find that my brain gets less elastic. I used to be able to really just okay, one time, boom, there it is. All right, I got it. Blah, blah, blah. Now I have to keep reminding myself of stuff.
To tattoo it on your brain.
Can you do that
mentally
physically?
Tattoo it.
Oh, you can't physically
tattoo.
It's a
trick you have to look.
I got like about I used to. Somebody told me back in the stand-up days that if you wanted to remember your whole act, this one guy that I knew, he would open the door of the refrigerator. We went on stage in his mind, and then every joke was something in the refrigerator, and it would go through the whole thing until finally he was done, and he closed the refrigerator and say
smart.
goodnight. That is, isn't it smart? Only problem is you still have to remember what the mayonnaise is. All right, Greg.
Well, I just hope that you don't lose your brain function, because that's the one thing you have. And if
Yes.
you get old and you lose that, you are going to be miserable.
What do you mean the one thing I have? What about my sense of humor? My
Well, that's all tied to the brain, is what I'm talking
What about
about.
compassion? I'm
That's
tall.
all tied to the brain.
I'm tall.
What I'm saying is, it's not like you're not some peak physical specimen.
I guess that's one way of putting it.
You're not going to be able to just go run for hours if you're losing your brain, because you get joy out of that.
No, that's true.
You sit there and you ponder things, and if
No.
that ability goes away.
I got a new book that was put out about quantum mechanics and everything, and I think back in the old days I would just plow right through that book, but now every 7 pages something comes up and I go, oh, what was that again? And I gotta go back. Okay, what
How
did
many
that
times
stand for?
have you reread a page?
Well, it came right before the game started. It actually kept me in check as I was getting nervous, because every time they went to commercial, I just muted the sound and kept reading the book. But I only had to go back 2 or 3 times, but I'm only 40 pages in, so, that's quite a lot. All right, what do you got for Tech Tuesday?
Elon Musk, Emu, my boy.
Yeah, you like Elon Musk. You call him Emu.
I love him.
I don't like that name.
You don't
Well,
like the
we're
name?
bros.
No.
We're bros. That's a little pet name for him. He's back at it by saying that Tesla owners will soon be able to replace their horn with fart and goat noises.
Oh, wow! Somebody you know what? I've got a checkbook. I'm going to write out a check for $80,000 right now. When you add the ability to turn my horn, like if I'm angry with somebody, hey, pal, hey,
Yeah, lights green. Let's go.
lights green. Excuse me. Yeah, hold on. I'm going to write a check for $125,000 so I can get that. Yes,
I
Jeff.
want a horn that's the Wilhelm scream that you hear in every movie.
It's going to be
Yeah.
Clark Howard pulling into the parking deck here at
yeah.
WSB.
All right, Clark. All right. Okay, it's your spot. Yeah.
Well, you can the idea behind this is maybe you can customize your horn. So Clark's horn would be him yelling, "It's free!"
You will be able to customize your horn.
When you think about customizing horns, and we've had certainly air horns that have been customizable for years, but I know one sound that will not be available, that was available in the old bull horns that you could customize. I got a feeling Dixie's not going to be available when you're trying to move somebody out of the way.
Here's where you're wrong. That's such a popular song. I'm going to put it in. In fact, I'm going to put in the cars that have
Is that a racial incident if the person in front of you is a minority and you want them to hurry up and then you hit the Dixie song? I think that starts a whole racial thing.
Well,
I don't think it's good. It's a good idea. Stick with the farts. Come on, pal. Let's go.
What about Yankee Doodle?
Yes, Greg.
I think I just put sobbing on mine, or a blood-curdling scream relaying incomprehensible pain.
I don't know about you. I don't know about you guys, but if I actually harness what I do, because I don't hit my horn because I'm not going to get beat up or killed or shot because of it. I don't care that much. I might care in the moment, but in reality, I'd be really angry at somebody who's in front of me, and then 5 minutes later, it's not in my mind anywhere. So I've made the decision that dying over that really isn't. So it's more sarcasm and so if it really reflected me, it just happened yesterday. This would be me. You're sitting at a green light and you're like 5 cars back, and for some reason no one's moving in front of you. I say things like, "Well, now would be a nice time." Hey.
Angrily or quietly?
No, just hey. Anybody interested in getting to where we all are going? I get very sarcastic in my own car.
If you're going to have your voice, mine would probably say, "I'm already on edge. Don't push me."
Go.
Yeah, you followed up with that. No matter what, it ends with the fart.
Always funny. I don't care. I mean, I'm a big fan of your greater satirist over time. You know me. I read my Jonathan Swift. But this is still funny. You think it was Greg? I have this question for you because I want to include you in the conversation.
All right, pose it.
I will pose the question. I will pose my thesis, which is that...
That's not a question. That's
hold
not including
on.
me.
I will ask you if you agree with it. That's the question. So my thesis is that the first joke that was ever laughed at was a fart. It was like a caveman days, and it's really quiet, and they don't even know why they're laughing, but it's just a funny noise. It's so like the first time, and then somebody realized they could get a laugh off it, so they started using it as a punchline from time to time. That's my thesis, Greg Russ. Do you agree?
I agree. It's a very simple form of humor, and the progression of it. So then, what are they Dutch ovening their spouses under their mammoth blankets?
Yeah, I think so. That really, it starts with the fundamental. The first joke people ever laughed at was an awkward fart somewhere in a cave, and then you add and add and add, and before you know it, you've got
before you know, you're just going up to someone's face and letting loose because that's what's funny.
I was going to say it works its way up higher and higher and higher until you get one of the Shakespeare comedies.
With you though, this is funny in theory, but in real life, you do not like if someone farts near you.
I know, I don't. No. I admit that the sound is funny.
You're worried about particles.
I don't need particles that were inside of you, inside of my head. And that's what's happening. If I'm close enough, that's what's happening.
In your mouth.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Well,
it's just filling your sinus. It's just all in.
Well, because I like to start breathing through my mouth, but then I just think, now it's all in my mouth.
No, I do that when you walk into a bathroom.
Yeah.
Like here, there's like one room that all of us people who like to be left alone always use. Mm-hmm. So it's number 2. It's number 2. Yeah, it smells like a petting zoo in there.
You and Billy.
And you walk in there and you go, and then you're like, no, I'm just taking all this into my mouth now?
Yeah,
this isn't a good idea.
I found that bathroom. I like it.
No, the best person to follow.
Tim found your bathroom area.
The best person everybody has that because the guy Clark Howard has 900 people working for him all in the same hallway, so it's a very busy bathroom. But my favorite person to follow, if I have a favorite person to follow in the bathroom, would be our own Alan Hunt because it always smells like aftershave. This guy, it's always what? Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
Kind? Brute?
Oh, it's beard oil.
Yeah, Aqua Velva beard oil.
Is that what it is?
It's not aftershave.
Okay.
It's not a cologne.
All right. So I don't know. Is this going to be the thing that tips somebody into paying?
Nobody even knows if it's true because Emu, he's a jokester.
Yeah. He's a jokester who wants to. You know what? I'm not going to go to Mars on his spaceship. I don't want to go to Mars on the.
It blows up. Jokes on you.
Hey! When it blew up, it made a funny sound.
I just tweeted it.
You just tweeted it.
And there'll also be coconut sounds.
Yeah, could you imagine Starship launching?
Yeah.
And it blows up, but it makes a big fart noise, so people don't know what to do. There's a tragedy, but then they're laughing.
Yeah, it's very difficult. This Elon Musk is out of his mind. Do you think he sleeps? Is he like some sort of like, I'm not making an allegation here, but it seems like he would be fueled by something.
A battery. A Tesla battery.
Yeah, we call that Adderall.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not making the allegation.
I mix it with Ritalin.
It just seems for me, I'm pretty lazy. I come in here and do a show every day, 17 and a half hours of broadcasting a week, and that just seems like I need my downtime. This Elon Musk has no downtime. It's, okay, you're done with all the problems of the Tesla. Hey, remember that company you started to bore tunnels? Yeah, that's still going on. Yeah, they need your attention. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, you're still going to Mars? Okay, well, you've got to have a meeting with the Mars people. Hey,
you need a flamethrower?
Oh, yeah, you have flamethrowers? All right, give me a story that Elon Musk is not involved in.
Astronauts just grew meat in space for the first time.
Oh, well, that's
this happened in September in the International Space Station. It was a 3D bioprinter that created this delicious steak.
Now, what are the ingredients? Do we know? Because, I mean, if a 3D printed steak is not something that I necessarily am going to gravitate toward, but if you look at a world that needs to be fed, the idea of being able to create meat in a 3D printer probably would be helpful just down the line when it's cheaper and quicker and smaller and all that in scale. But
it's bovine cells that were coaxed into forming.
Well, they go
muscle
like here, kid.
Yeah, they coaxed them.
You're so strong, little bovine cells. You're doing so good.
No, I don't want to grow.
Come on.
Yep.
Yes, you can do it. I think you can do it. Come on.
And then we found out that bovine cells naturally follow goats. We got them in there. We made 3D.
3D goat's cheese.
If we could make food out of 3D printers, of course, we're at the beginning of that, right? They're large, they're bulky, they're expensive.
We're at Star Trek Next Generation.
Give me a hot dog.
yeah. When you just go and order your thing. I mean, we're not quite
Eric
there yet.
orders circus peanuts.
Hey, I don't eat that stuff anymore. You know what? It's been so long since I had candy. I was just thinking about it. It's been probably 5 months since I've had any candy.
Wow.
And
Halloween is here.
Halloween is on its way, and I'm not tempted by food the way I used to be.
What's your feeling about candy corn?
I always liked candy corn, but it just falls into the category of candy.
Okay.
I know that.
Well, some people, there seems to be this big divide, especially online. People are posting little memes about like how to eat candy corn. Open the bag and then put it in the trash and eat a Reese's cup.
Boy, everything.
Oh.
What are you telling me?
Humanity's so
How do you
clever.
feel about candy corn? Call 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB.
I don't like candy corn, but I like the other kind of corn.
Eric, that last caller's a moron. I love candy corn.
Well, that's right. You're listening to the worst radio show in America. So give us a call and tell us whether or not you like candy corn.
Oh, excuse me.
All right, Gregory, let's see if we can squeeze in one more Tech Tuesday story.
Instagram is killing its creepy stalking feature, the following tab. Now, I don't really know what this is, so you should ask Autumn.
I was asking Jared, and he barely knew. Now, following on Twitter, that's not creepy. It just means you're following them. This sounds to me as if it was like, no, I'm watching you. Hey, I'm following your Instagram.
Yeah, apparently it better became known as a stalking tool.
Yeah,
You can see what your followers are, what their activity is. It's like a feed that
in
other
real
people.
time.
I've never seen that.
What
Who
it is,
in the
what it
hell?
is that other people are liking, the photos they're looking at, and everything else.
I mean, who would sign up? I don't know. People are stupid, so they'll sign up for anything, I guess.
I never heard of that.
They're
And
friends.
Me either.
I've never looked at someone else's profile to see what they're doing. So
Well, I
You
guess
feel
we
like
better-
you missed out?
yeah,
I never heard of
imagine
that.
all the
Damn, I
people you
missed
could have
it.
stalked.
I know that's crazy.
It just sounds creepy.
Why did you like that?
So, like, look, for example, I see that Mark Aram just liked Tyler Perry's post 6 minutes ago.
Well, those two are tight.
Put me in a movie, buddy.
Well, Instagram in general. I knew someone who broke up with a guy, and then she would just go on Instagram to see when he was last active on it.
Right,
Driving herself insane, thinking he was dating someone else, and then looking at their interactions. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a very stable person that you know. I broke up with him, and now I'm upset that he's, I don't know, living his life.
You're right,
Well, no,
Eric.
he
Social
broke up
media is
with
the
her.
greatest thing that's ever been invented.
What's that, Greg?
He broke up with her, but still.
Oh, okay.
You know me and the unstable people. I really like them.
I know they gravitate toward you, or you gravitate toward them, or there's some sort of
It's
magnetic.
because I offer them understanding.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, wow, no one's ever given me that.
Our old buddy English Nick just followed the long drink.
I don't know what that means.
like a long drink.
See?
What is the long drink?
No, I guess it's some kind of beverage that English Nick likes, but that's the point, though. It is kind of creepy that you can see what other people's activity is on this tab.
Well, Gregory, I've been following you for years, and I don't care what they do over there at Instagram. I'm going to continue to be creepy. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, it's love to me. Creep is love.
Love, creepiness. It's very confusing sometimes.
Thank you.
Hour 2 of the Von Haessler Doctrine begins right now. Looking over my left shoulder there, the Kelly Clarkson show is on. And although I like Kelly Clarkson, and I met her once, and she's a very nice person, and I wish her the best of luck and everything, I said I think the Kelly Clarkson show is not going to be around very long. And I'm looking up there now, and we have the closed caption on, so I can see what they're talking about. And really, if I could sum up what the Kelly Clarkson show is, her and her guest, you're wonderful. You're wonderful. Aren't we wonderful? Like, people are just wonderful. You are such a gift. You're such a gift to the world. It's like, all right, people are going to get tired of it. People think they want good news until they get it, and then they run for entertainment. Although I do like Kelly Clarkson. One other thing before we get to Jay Black in the Biscuit Mobile. I was thinking about that story earlier where Elon Musk says he's going to add fart noises and goat noises to the horns of the Tesla. So if you're stuck behind somebody, you can go, hey, pal, hey, look, let's go. Hey, the light's green. But then I was thinking in my brain, you know, when cars get into an accident, sometimes the horn gets stuck. What is that? Oh, wow. I think he's dead.
Hey, buddy, you all right?
It looks like he's dead.
Car's farting.
All right, Let's do this.
One man to beat. He cuts behind him. 20. He's going to go. 5. Touchdown.
Georgia Bulldogs and sports with Jay Black.
All right, he's from the Biscuit Mobile. I understand in West where? Where's he calling from?
West Frankfort, Illinois.
West Frankfort, Illinois. On the way back in the Biscuit Mobile, Jay Black joins us, sports director here at WSB. Obviously, we're talking about the letdown in the Cardinals game yesterday. Jay, how are you?
For the first time in the 97-year history of WSB Radio, we're reporting live from West Frankfort, Illinois.
Hey, can I tell you something? Good
Yes.
thing you're in West Frankfort, because East.
The other one.
Woo! Wow, you don't want to go
on the
there.
other side of the Country Financial Building where we're in the parking lot of right now. You don't want to go over there.
Hey, you know what? This may surprise you, Jay, but I've worked for radio stations that bought airline tickets to send people places.
In their defense, this was partly my decision because we had to go to Knoxville for the Georgia game, and I couldn't find a direct flight from Knoxville to St. Louis.
Oh, okay,
So,
so they were
a
willing.
little more convenient.
Okay.
Well, maybe. I didn't ask.
You never really got that far.
I'm saving my money for the World Series, man, because the Braves are still going to the World Series despite
yeah.
what everybody feels like.
Can
right
I? Well, I feel like they're coming back to Atlanta, and Fulte was certainly lights out last time he got up there. I got to believe he's going to do it again, and so I'm still feeling confident. But I think they let it slip away yesterday. Now, Jay, you can be the one who tells me I'm wrong here. And as I've explained, I'm a casual baseball fan. I don't know as much about baseball as some of the other sports that I follow, but it seems to me that, I'll just put it this way. When Tomlin retired 3 straight batters in the 7th and then retired the first batter in the 8th, and then when the 2 biggest sluggers that have been causing us headaches were coming up, we changed pitchers. This is what happened at my house. Are you listening?
I'm listening.
Okay, this was me when that decision was made. That is analytics-driven bullshit. As you can tell, I wasn't in favor of the move.
Man,
now,
I see that.
This is the way that I feel. Data is fine. So you've got data that says against these hitters, this bullpen got whatever. He had found a hot hand. And to me, stay with the hot hand, and if they get hit on, this fan will say, you did the right thing, tip your cap. They beat him. But there's no other reason to move him at that point and get him off the mound other than our analysis and our metrics tell us to do this. Tell me I'm wrong.
Here's the radio analogy for that move, because I actually didn't mind it. Let's say the aliens have landed in Atlanta at 5:00 in the morning.
Mars?
And the only person that can get on the radio to anchor our coverage at that point is Autumn.
Okay. Uh-oh, he's going after you, Autumn.
And Autumn's out of her lane a little bit, but doing a great job for an hour.
For an hour.
But then things get tough. The aliens start storming the Capitol, and we've got Chris Chandler here.
Yes.
It's Chris Chandler's job to handle that tough part.
Well, okay.
It is Shane Green's job to come in and face Paul Goldschmidt, who was their best hitter.
Mm-hmm.
I've never understood sports more.
That's why they made the trade to get him. You got more than you wanted from Josh Tomlin / Autumn Fisher.
So
now it's time for Shane Green to do his job and get the outs.
I don't, Jay, I don't know whether to feel insulted or complimented.
Hey, he said you jumped in there and did a good hour.
Yeah,
You did
I did okay
you did
for
your
what
thing.
she does.
No, you did what you were supposed to do, and then it was
Josh
time to bring the
Tomlin
pro in.
is the swing man. Last available guy in the bullpen. He was picked off the scrap heap this year and did a great job as that long man in the bullpen.
But he had
you
just
got
retired.
more than you wanted for him. I'm aware.
I get it. It's like Teresa Giudice on Real Housewives of New Jersey. You thought that she was going to be done after her husband was put in jail and deported to Italy.
Yeah.
And they're buddying up with the Trumps.
Well, yeah.
But she's going to be better than ever on this new season. I get it.
The hell was this chick talking about? I have no idea.
Come on, guys. Don't pretend like you don't watch New Jersey.
I think Jay Black watches it, and she's absolutely spot on correct.
All right. So
I have Real Housewives of West Frankfort, Illinois.
So what? Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
come and
boy.
visit. You can go visit them.
Yeah, Barbara was supposed to bring the cornbread, but she didn't. She brought cookies, and I made brownies. It was the same.
There's a you could cut the tension with a knife.
Oh boy!
You like Subway?
So, all right, I
craved that sweet chicken teriyaki, boy. Wow.
All right, Jay, I gave you my analysis. You pushed back. Give me your analysis. Where are we with the Braves and the Cardinals and coming back?
The biggest problem in that game was not Josh Tomlin pitching the seventh. It was Dallas Keuchel not getting out of the fourth. That set that whole thing up for a problem. And then problem A is you leave bases loaded in the seventh or in the sixth. In the seventh, you get a leadoff double in the ninth, and nobody scores.
Yeah, we left out. How many people would we leave on base in that whole game? Yeah,
and 0 for 9 runners in scoring.
As I was watching that, as we're getting through the seventh and the eighth, and these things are happening, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, well, these are the Braves. Maybe we stranded them on this, but they're making contact, so we're going to win this because you can't hold the Braves back that long. They're going to break through as long as they're making contact. But you got to tip the cap to them. I'm told they're considered the best bullpen in the National League. I don't know if that's true, but you got to deal. They're getting paid too, Yes. And they were in a do or die situation at home, and they fought like hell. And like I say, you got to tip the cap to them. But you really feel like, man, a lot was left on the field. And then go back to the first game and some of the mistakes that were made there, which this game wouldn't even been necessary. So,
Freddie Freeman has 2 hits in the playoffs. Josh Donaldson has 2 hits in the playoffs. Nick Markakis has 3 hits in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Matt Joyce has 1. So that's your 3, 4, 5, and 6 hitters, and you can't play for the pennant with
Freddie
order hitting 1.
Freddie's not the same player, obviously. I don't know if he's letting on to how much he's hurt, but the way that I see it is his eye is still there, and his brain's telling his body to do things that his body naturally does, and it's just not doing it right now. So
he was asked in the locker room how much of a role his injured elbow was playing, and he had one word answer for that. He said 0.
Okay, I get it, and I understand he's an athlete.
But I don't think anybody really believed him on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I love Freddie Freeman, and usually when I'm watching the Braves, when he steps up to the plate, I'm like, look out. Now when he steps up to the plate, I'm like, hey, come on. Yeah.
How about this scenario that we have brewing here, fellas, between last time that the Braves and Cardinals were in a one-game elimination round of the playoffs was the 2012 National League wild card,
where
the infamous infield fly rule happened in Atlanta. We're going to have that again. We're going to have a scenario like this again tomorrow, Jay, Game 5. 1 game left.
Jay, can you rule on this?
The same umpiring crew, too.
Atlanta fans say that was the most outrageous thing. But it was arguable, right? There are people who believe the infield fly rule did apply, right?
No.
No one. No one.
Sam not even Mrs. Sam Holbrook thought that was a good call.
Okay, all right. I thought there was 2 schools of thought on it, but if it was just straight up, then let's get this guy out of the league. The hell is he? Well, hey, you know what? It might be good. He owes us one.
He does.
He does owe us.
So
Sam, you got a chance to make up for it.
That's right. If you care about karma, then perhaps it's about time to give us one.
1 game to advance in Atlanta again. Same 2 teams, same umpiring crew. The script couldn't be any better than what it was.
Was the last time a play-in game?
That was a wild card game.
Yes.
Yes. Can you tell me what the infield fly rule is?
I have to look it up.
I was hoping that Jay could tell me.
Jay,
well, when you hit the ball in the high left field and the left field umpire makes that, I'm tired of talking about this. This is terrible.
Wow, Jay, do an impression.
Wow. The Von Haessler doctrine unleashes all kinds of creative forces.
Just like Josh Tomlin stepping out of his role. I stepped out of my role and into Tim Andrews' area there. And I did okay. I got 4 outs.
Bringing it back. That's what I'm going to do. I'm bringing it back. Putting the ball on it.
I'm calling the pen. I'm going against I think we got everything out of Jay's impressions that we can.
That's as far as we're going to go there.
Yeah. So we get Fulton Evans versus Flaherty, right?
Yeah, it was a classic in Game 2. Yeah. Now you just got to hope that Fulty's got another one in him. Jack Flaherty's been the best pitcher in the National League in the second half. Fulty says he's good to go, so we'll find out.
Look, I have no doubt Fulty's got another one in him physically, but I'm talking to you right now, Fulty. You got it. You got it, baby. No mental breakdowns here. There's a reason you didn't become a tennis player, because you didn't want to have mental breakdowns in front of large crowds. That's what tennis players do. Not great pitchers. You're a great pitcher. And you're going to put that Flaherty. It's what's going to happen. Flaherty's going to know what hit him. 7-0 in the second. He's not going to know what's going to hit him. 4 runs in the first he gives up. 3 runs in the second he gives up. And St. Louis, this is the dream I had last night anyway. I don't know if it's really going to happen. But that's what I'm going
And there'll be an infield fly called for us this time around.
That's right.
When the Braves take care of business tomorrow.
Time to let it go, Jared.
Yeah.
All right, Jay Black in the Biscuit Mobile, making your way back to Atlanta for Game 5. Have a safe journey, my friend.
I hope.
I guess what I'm saying is Godspeed, Jay Black.
Indeed.
Godspeed. All right, what do you got for me there? Some open mics, things like that?
Yeah, I got some open mics and some Facebook
Do
mail.
I want to listen to the people? Am I in the mood to listen to the people?
You better be ready for this guy. Here he comes.
You got to plug in first, dude.
The President of the United States. We don't need to interpret what he has to say. Whatever he says is what he means. We're not into playing games. Get it through your thick head, Eric. Get it through your thick head, Eric.
Huh?
Get it through your thick head, Eric.
I don't understand. Who's
Get
that?
it through your thick head, Eric.
I think I'm losing my mind.
Get it through your thick head, Eric.
Can't get this guy's voice out of my head.
Get it through your thick head,
You're
Eric.
in my thick head.
He can't get out.
Get it through your thick head, Eric.
I think he's probably responding to the other white Eric Erickson. I don't think that really is apropos to anything that. I mean, surely he's not talking about me.
Get it through your thick head.
Get out of my brain! This guy is haunting me. This is the guy. This is going to be at my house when you knock on the door on Halloween.
Get it through your thick head, Eric.
Here's a candy bar. Get away.
The telltale heart.
Get it through your thick head, Eric. You're gonna die.
Nice house.
Get it through your thick head, Eric.
I swear, there's nobody buried behind that brick wall.
Get it through your thick head, Eric.
I don't know why I'm being so haunted.
Get it through your thick head, Eric.
Yeah, all right, fine. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. In general terms, I agree with him. You don't have to do a lot of analysis on what Trump means. He has no filter.
I hate that thing.
No need to interpret that. I like that you really threw that R in there. Interpret. Environment. Yes.
Now on Facebook, Nia writes, she says, more snacky please with 2 exclamation marks. He was a real hit last week.
Well, Snacky joins us because with this impeachment inquiry and everything going on, there's a lot of bad news out there. And Snacky brings us that kicker story. At the end of the local news, it's been nothing but murder and mayhem. And then they show you a squirrel on water skis and you remember that the world. Snacky brings us those kicker stories and his snackable content. Hey, Snacky!
Hi,
Snacky!
Hey, Snacky!
Wow. Listen, did you guys hear about the blindfolded man who identified 11 ice cream flavors in 60 seconds?
Wow, that is so cool.
I bet he had a cold upper mouth. I don't know what I'm
Don't try to do material, Snacky. Just give us the story.
Jared usually writes me jokes and gags. Hey, what about the scuba divers who competed in the underwater pumpkin carving contest in Florida?
I didn't know about that.
That is so funny.
You know what? Since you tell me these stories, it's sort of, it makes me forget how polarized we are as a nation and as a people now.
Talking about.
Thank you, Snacky.
Sometimes an unplanned stop at the gas station can make you rich, like the guy who bought a lottery ticket and won $1 million.
What?
Wow!
It's not all bad, Snacky.
Hey, Snacky, why do you have my wallet?
Just put it back.
Snacky, what are you doing?
Dirty secret is Snacky has a little
A
bit
deer crashed through a New York State hair salon window.
a little bit of a habit.
Oh, that poor deer.
A little bit of a habit, this Snacky.
Wow.
Thanks, Snacky.
Bye.
Bye, Snacky.
Bye, Autumn.
I'm looking at the monitors up there. We have MSNBC and CNN and Fox. It's really very interesting when it comes to the impeachment inquiry. That's what they're calling it, the impeachment inquiry. Inquiring whether or not to impeach. And if I could sum up what I'm seeing up there, Fox News, impeachment, no big deal. MSNBC, CNN, impeachment, really big deal. So I guess you'll have to decide which silo you're going to live in.
I'm just going to watch the Weather Channel.
The Weather Channel.
They don't take sides.
Well, they've been talking about how we got a lot of dangerous Category 5 hurricanes. I don't know why anybody leaves their home.
You didn't see the Gustnado this morning?
The Gustnado?
My gosh. Yeah, they had some
guy named Gus who started twirling around.
Can't stop spinning.
A Gustnado?
Better get in your shelter.
What is a Gustnado?
It's a short-lived, ground-based swirling wind that can form on the leading edge of a severe thunderstorm.
Or whoop-de-doo.
Wait, isn't that called like a dust devil or dirt devil or something?
A dust devil is smaller. Gustnado goes all the way up high into the sky.
She always asks the hard-hitting questions, doesn't she? Let's do this.
This is interesting.
Or...
No, thanks. So unprofessional.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yes?
Before you get to your whole whether you think it's this or that, we have a deal.
Are you talking about whom this is interesting?
This is interesting. Maybe I'll watch it. Maybe I won't. Maybe I like the story. Maybe I'll talk about it. I don't know. But you got stuff to do.
Okay. This is the thing you did yesterday. This is available for people.
This is available. The website is mentioned in the phony. Screwy commercial.
My guess here, now this is the third time we're going to play this over the last couple of days. Right. My guess here is that you tried to get the rights to Yacht Rock, and you didn't, and so you called this Schooner Tunes.
Yacht Rock is proprietary.
Yeah.
There's some guys in Atlanta, I guess, maybe girl, I don't know. But, I figured err on the side of caution. Make up your own Schooner Tunes.
Ahoy! POTUS Records presents Schooner Tunes, featuring Demented Don and the Donalds.
I'm not corrupt, so don't believe it. It's just because the fake news lies to you. Biden did Obama's dirty work. Oh yeah, vote for me. I must be re-elected. I'm just talking to Zelensky.
Schooner Tunes, featuring Demented Don and the Donalds. Slap on some sunblock, pop a top, and crank the tunes.
Why is he so creepy looking and bald? If you were sent by Obama to mess around in Ukraine.
Help President Trump fight Congress and get reelected in 2020. Only $19.95. Order yours today at schoonertunes.gov.
Fake news, they lie.
Is that a real website?
Fake news, they lie.
That's like Big Boys Don't Cry.
That's right, 10cc. You know what that stands for?
I've heard the rumors. I thought it was the same thing as the Love and Teaspoon.
Love and Spoonful.
Spoonful, right?
That's right.
Not the Love and Teaspoonful.
No. That's a granny's
those
website.
they did little ditties.
Yeah.
They did little ditties.
We love a teaspoon. We love a tablespoon too. We love a teaspoon.
Kind of a
How about a quarter a cup?
A novelty hit back in 1925.
Hot town, summer in the city. Back of my neck getting dirty and gritty. There you go.
President's in a mood. All right, I guess that we are going back now to...
This is interesting.
Or...
No thanks.
This is when you toss stories at me, and I decide whether or not they're clickable. You like that? I'm speaking like the kids. No, I clack, you click.
Oh,
they
no,
click.
I clickety.
The kid, you clickety, I clack. But the kids, they're clicking. Okay. And the people above me here, they want me to they say, Eric, everything's looking great. They bring in all these sheets of paper, and they're like, Eric, look at this. These people love you, and these people love you. And it's out of hand how much. We can't believe how much we're not paying you to bring us this much success at WSB. But they say the one area we wish you would stop going after the young people, the M's and the Z's, the millennials and the zennials.
Get it through your thick head, Eric.
I know, I'm trying. I am. So every once in a while, I like to show that I'm hip with the kids, and I say things
smash that subscribe button.
Is it clickable? I say things like that, and the kids are like, "Oh wow, that shows it's speaking my soul."
Well, here's a story you can't refuse. This is
Don't
from
tell me. Well, hold on.
He's
whole
not
concept.
Refuse any story.
I refuse. Sometimes I say,
no thanks. But then you don't really refuse it because you talk about it.
there are plenty of other radio stations that you could be on and other radio shows.
Maybe
If you don't think there's enough truth and veracity in this show.
One of the best ones is Sebastian Gorka.
Yeah, you might want to go join Sebastian Gorka. Sebastian, would you like to have Autumn on your show?
I would love to have a young lady on my show where we talk about America first. Sebastian Gorka.
Sebastian Gorka, you sound like you're from Little Mermaid because of the Sebastian and then like orcas in the ocean.
This is changing your show, Sebastian.
Wow, we've been craving that kind of nonsense here on the America First show.
I saw a
Sebastian Gorka.
I saw a news story with a squirrel skiing
water
in the
skiing.
water.
Yeah. I call you Mr. G, Sebastian Gorka.
I like that here on America First.
All right.
With
Is that what you're on?
Sebastian
America First?
Gorka.
Is that the name of the show?
Where
America
we put
First?
America first.
Yeah, but there could be some scenarios that you wouldn't want to put America first. Am I wrong?
Like what?
First to get bombed.
Yeah, we're gonna get rid of every country one at a time. If somebody told you that, you wouldn't
put America first.
No, you wouldn't want to put America in that situation.
We'd be the ones getting rid of all the other countries, therefore keeping America in first.
Were you born here? I'd just like to see your papers.
President Trump is saving our country from the radical
When you say
left.
our country, were you
Our
born here?
country.
Or
I'm a citizen, thank you. Unlike most of the people coming in now. That's
So
right.
you took your
America first.
Yeah, you took the citizen test.
With Sebastian
Where are you from?
Gorka. I don't
The
know.
North Pole
He's
or
from
something?
under the sea.
I'm from
Little
Gorkaville.
Mermaid's friend.
Gorkaville.
Yeah.
Somebody give me a story.
Yeah, Jared.
This is from USA Today. This first
You can't
one.
refuse
You
it,
cannot
apparently.
refuse it.
Oh, okay.
Hailey Bieber shares stunning wedding dress photos from the most special day of her life.
Don't want to let you down.
Ah!
No.
Who?
Thanks.
Haley.
Hailey Bieber. She changed her name. It was Haley Baldwin. Now it's Hailey Bieber.
Yeah, how can Autumn be confused by this? Put it together. Haley Baldwin is the daughter of Alec Baldwin, and she married Justin Bieber, and that's why she's now Haley Bieber.
And she shared her stunning wedding dress photos.
Who gives a damn?
Yeah. I like she kept his name. She took his name, though. That's cool.
Honestly, who gives a damn? What? She took her name.
No, she took his name.
No, she took her name. Who cares? I'll tell you something. I swear to you, I do not understand. And let's just lay it out there. Let's be. Can we have a misogyny moment? I need a sounder.
Hell yeah.
Misogyny moment with Eric Von Hest.
Chicks, right?
Yeah. So I cannot figure this out. I was talking to Jared the other day. What is, and it's not all women, obviously. I know Ayn Rand never tuned into Entertainment Tonight. It's not all women,
When
but
she
why?
dead by then?
Why is it? Why is it? Well, whatever came before it. People Magazine. I don't see in the '70s Ayn Rand. Oh, looks like Burt Reynolds is single again. I just don't see that happening. So it's not every woman, but why do women care? I'm asking this honestly. You can use the open mic. Women, let me know. Why do women care about who celebrities are dating or whether or not the Queen likes Meghan Markle? For the life of me, because I go through aggregators in order to see what's going on everywhere. There's 3 or 4 aggregators that I go through that aggregate different news stories, hard stories, soft stories, entertainment stories. And I can't tell you how many headlines I go past about there was one this morning. So-and-so looked really down in this picture after finding out that Bieber was married. You have your hand up, Autumn Fisher.
Yes. Speaking as a woman.
Yes.
With all of the appropriate accoutrement that comes with being a woman.
Oh, yeah. You get the things in front and the things behind.
That's right. Lemonade.
Mm-hmm.
I think that women are interested in emotion and in relationship negotiations and
why though?
The way that dynamics between people. And so when you look now, that doesn't sound like someone who's interested in that would look at a wedding dress and be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But when you think about looking at the wedding dress, not only is it beautiful, but you think about getting to be that person and getting to have this special day and getting to buy whatever dress you want, no matter the cost. And so you start thinking, you put your emotion into that picture.
What I would say to women is that may be true, but try looking through a high-powered telescope every once in a while. There's a lot of interesting things in this world.
Yeah, big deal. There's moons around Jupiter. Big whoop.
Yeah.
I can see them. Great. They were there before when I couldn't see them, so who cares? Can I go inside and watch Housewives now?
I could not relate to the concept of anybody, male or female, giving a damn about who some actor is dating, or it
honestly, gives you an insight as to who they are as real people.
Why? But who cares? They're actors. I don't
because
care
you're
about their real
a dude
self.
and you don't care about the inner workings of someone's relationship.
If you're a good actor, I forget your name and who you are, and then hurrah, there, take the award, get the hell off the stage. I don't care how you vote, what you think, who you're dating. I just don't understand it at all. And it's really something. A lot of people have said that maybe it's because we don't have royalty, so we treat these people like royalty. Because kind of the same people who care about Justin Bieber's wedding dress are the same people who care about whether the Queen is getting along with Meghan Markle. I don't care. Does anybody here really care? I got a feeling they just put those stories out there and nobody actually cares.
No, you do care.
I do. Who cares?
You don't care. People care because you want to know if there's drama, because even if it's not real, it's fun to think that there might be drama.
But you could be discovering a cure for cancer. You're not going to do it while you're...
What am I going to... I got my, degree in hotel management. I'm not going to figure out a cure for cancer.
You might. I'll tell you what. You got a better shot of figuring out a cure for cancer if you don't spend all your time reading about and gossiping about celebrities who just broke up. Who gives a damn?
Well, what about sports?
They're not going to tell you the truth.
It's our sports.
Has anybody
ever...
the
Browns did this. This guy on this team had a good season, but he doesn't...
Well, you bet money on it? I guess you could bet money on how long a relationship's going to last.
Yeah.
Like, do celebrity
it's our
wedding.
Sports. Give us that.
No. It's frivolous.
You're a mean man.
Sports is important.
The Von Haessler Doctrine.
They've got such good chemistry.
Making listeners laugh every day.
It's priceless.
9 to noon on 95.5 WSB. Atlanta's News and Talk.
All right, toss me another story. I'll tell you whether or not I care.
This is from Bloomberg, Eric.
The man or the publishing outfit?
The publishing outfit.
The news outfit.
Soccer stars. Alex.
I have a news outfit. You ever seen it?
Yeah.
I look wonderful in it. Go ahead.
Sharp. Soccer stars Alex Morgan and Megan Rapinoe say their pay would triple if they were men.
No thanks.
I can't tell you how sick and tired I am of this story. I can't believe it still has legs. And by the way, I don't care. They could make $1 trillion. I wouldn't care. They could make $2. I wouldn't care. I'm being convinced by the culture that I should care, and sometimes I want to be liked, and I act like I care. But the truth is, I don't give a damn.
No thanks.
The one thing I can tell you, and nobody is thinking about yet, is that the Summer Olympic Games next year are going to be something else. And when there's something else, you're going to be able to blame these two, who made it fashionable to go on foreign soil, represent the United States of America, and let the world know, I don't dig this president. Because the world cares, Megan. They want to know. Even if you lost every game. What does Megan think? It used to be, if you don't want to be an ambassador for the United States, you say no to the offer of being an ambassador of the United States. If you've got a problem, then you can go on TV and tell people why. But they've made it fashionable, and the Olympics is going to be a mess, full of teenagers and people in their early 20s trying to be really cool and letting the world know, I don't want to be an American idiot. Blame these two. Hour 3 of the Von Haessler Doctrine begins right now, and your legendary host here is feeling a little weird because I just dropped a lot of acid. No, that's not I'm feeling weird. I'm feeling a little strange, a little awkward. I do my steps. I go walking around the whole campus. Have you ever had what I would call an unrequited wave? Do you know what unrequited means? There was a nodding up of his forehead, this Jared Young.
I don't think so.
It's when unrequited love is when you love somebody, but they don't love you back.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that somebody gave you...
No, I had an unrequited wave, meaning I would always throw a wave back, no matter what.
Of course.
I'm just that kind of guy.
Because
That's
you
in my
love
DNA.
people. You love everyone you work with.
Whether I do or I don't want trouble. So if I don't really like you, I'll pretend that I like you just to get along, you know? I'm not...
Go
I'm a
along
person,
to get along.
I go along to get along. I don't want to have problems with people. I got too much stuff. I might get a phone call, find out a friend has cancer. That's worth putting my mind on, not some petty thing in the office and somebody I don't like. I'll just pretend I like them, and then I go home. I do my whole voodoo thing. So I get mine in the end, but I don't have any petty problems at the office. So I'm walking around, and I'm on the second floor, and I come through a set of doors, and then the door to an office is open, and I see a lady, and she turns in her chair and she smiles, and I wave at her, and then she doesn't wave back. And then But here's the thing. But first of all, then I'm thinking, you don't know that person. Why would you wave at them? And I realized as I was walking away, there was somebody else in the office I didn't see. She turned around, smiled at that person, and then I waved, and she didn't wave back. Now I feel awkward because she's probably thinking, why did that weirdo wave at me?
She left you hanging, though. In that instance, she should just go, oh, hey, hi.
I think she didn't. I think that I misunderstood. Have you ever had anybody intercept your wave? This happens
all the time.
Yeah. So I'll be walking. Last time it happened to me was Jesse Brooks, our videographer.
Yeah.
So I was walking through the newsroom, and I saw Clark Howard was on the air, and I waved at him. And then just as that happened, Jesse Brooks walked between me and the studio, and he waved back. And I said, no, you intercepted my wave. That was for Clark Howard. Yes.
Common in a very big bar setting too, like that, where somebody will be waving at you and you'll wave back, and then you look behind you and there's a person behind you. And then you
feel
you just put the hand, you tuck the hand away. You're like, okay,
it's that weirdness right there. That's what I'm feeling on a campus level. Yeah.
Also very common at Mercedes-Benz Stadium when the Falcons are at home.
Oh, what? The
interception.
Oh, the interception. That's usually in the red zone, right?
Yeah.
It's usually in the... I don't know. You know what?
I'm just waving.
I keep watching these things. Matt Ryan, I'd like to take you to task. But stats-wise, you're right up there.
No, he's killing it.
You know, he's going to throw a few interceptions.
5.
Everybody does. How do you... I wish he'd stop doing it in the end zone. You say
7 interceptions.
7 interceptions.
11 touchdowns, 7
my
interceptions.
fault.
Yeah, well, really, with a defense that bad, we can't blame you. All right, let's do this.
More headlines for Tuesday, October 8th.
I hear Donald Trump's in the news. What a surprise.
Shocking, right? This is
he hardly ever makes news. Quiet as a church mouse, that one.
This is breaking news from the WSB radio app.
Oh, we broke the news?
Yes. The Trump administration has...
wait a minute. Did you break the WSB radio app?
I did. I broke the WSB radio app.
It's just good.
Why do you think the digital team's scrambling out there?
I know they are. They're tripping all over the Mellish meter.
I've tripped over that.
It's always the way.
As I started this out, I'm tripping right now.
Yeah, I know. Shrooms? Oh, no, acid.
Hey, what goes around comes around.
Only the strong stuff, Andrews. I'm here for the next 12 hours, folks. It's all going to be live.
The Trump administration has ordered top diplomat Gordon Sondland.
No, I think it's Sondland.
Sondland, excuse me, not to appear for a scheduled deposition with House committees.
All right, so basically they wanted to speak to the ambassador of Ukraine, and Trump said no. President Trump, what was your reasoning on this?
Because it is a totally compromised kangaroo court.
Is this a court? You hear kangaroo court a lot, Jared Yamamoto. What is a kangaroo court?
A corrupt court.
Where it's just for show.
Yeah.
And they know what the what the verdict is going to be before they even begin. They just put it on as a show to pretend that they have a process.
And also
of
they
justice.
have kangaroos.
Oh, is that
right? Yeah, I mean they have kangaroos.
Yeah, you can't call it a
Why
kangaroo.
would you call it that? I mean,
how does the pouch apply?
I wonder. Somebody should look that up. Why? Well, that's where they keep the verdict.
In the pouch. Okay, got it.
So why? Why would they call it a kangaroo? Why did they get started? Why did they call it a kangaroo court? Maybe it started in Australia. Maybe the English.
That would make sense.
No, the English, maybe if they wanted to put somebody away and they knew that they wanted to put them away, maybe in Australia where they had all those criminals.
It was a penal colony.
Am I right? I put that all together.
Penal colony, yeah.
I did it. Don't you pick up on this, President Trump. That was mine. I figured that out all on my own. I don't need Google. Go to hell, Google. Go to hell, Google. I don't need you.
There is a second theory, though. The first theory is obviously that it came from Australia.
Okay, this second guy's a jerk.
The alternative theory is that the court is quick to deal with the issue. They jump over the issue.
Oh, they're jumping.
So the kangaroo jumps, and the court jumps over the issue.
I like Eric's.
Yeah, I think mine is better.
Sense.
It makes sense to me also just because I just logisticized it in my head.
I get it. I logisticized
I used the
a lot.
logical.
Covfefe.
I used the logical.
Covfefe.
A lot of people don't use the logical.
I do.
I know you do.
I'm the
and I
most
do.
logical president in the history of logical presidents.
Logic could set you free. And in a way, he's. The thing is, I can't jump in on one side or the other. I mean, I could all day long, but in reality, I think the whole thing is kangarooism. Put it this way: it's not a court; it's rooism.
Rooism
Everything
is the
that's
worst.
going on. You go back to that old kabuki theater, right? All of it. I don't believe that anybody on any side of this is sincere. Maybe people who are following, maybe people who are planning on voting in one way or another, they're sincere in what they like. But these leaders, Trump, Schumer, Schiff, any of them, I don't find any of them to be sincere. And I'm not a fool. But here's the good news, politicians. You got a country full of them. You don't need me. I'm not jumping in on any individual. I want to get out of the personality business. I want to get out of the personal savior through politics business. I want boring, bland governance because that's good governance. And most of it happens behind the scenes. But I might as well be an old man with a cane standing in the middle of the sea telling the waves to go the other way. Because it's over, America. Let's just have a party. I said it before, I'll say it again. The Founding Fathers could not have imagined social media. It's not something they took into account as what, and I will tell you right now, I believe this with all my heart, within 12 years, someone who emerges from a social media influencer background will run for president and either do very well or win, because it's all from this point forward. Policies matter less than the cults of personality that are coming. You think it's bad now. As I started this show off saying that the reason there are very few shock jocks left in radio is because apparently they've all gone into politics. And that's what it's all about. If AOC decides she hasn't made a ripple in a while, she's going to tweet something shocking. Because ultimately, a lot of people can call her a fool, but you're still responding to her. And when it's a cult of personality, that's what's important. Me. Respond to me. Who cares if my policies don't add up? And when you do add them up, we're talking about multiple trillions of dollars. I'm cool. I'm cool. So retweet me and like me. How many 14-year-olds are retweeting and liking AOC's tweets and have never taken the time to break a book? What's this about? What is the difference between capitalism and socialism? I'm not going to read a book. I like AOC. She's cool. So I'm for socialism. Or Trump finally gave the political correctness people a punch in the face. To hell with policy. I like him. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Trump yesterday, he was speaking about this Ukrainian deal. They caught him at the White House, and he says there's nothing.
They caught him? Was he running?
Well, I'm saying the reporters. They basically chased after.
Were you running away?
It's hard to get away from these guys. I weigh way too much. Ooh, I cannot run very good.
We have a stenographer report. We have a very,
he's talking about the phone call.
How it was great.
We have a stenographer report. We have a very, very word-for-word report of what I said. I released it. And almost everybody that read it said it's either perfect or really very good.
Oh, that's true.
But it's a very normal, nice conversation.
Almost everybody who read it.
Brett Baer said it was one of the best he'd ever read. Brett Baer loved it.
It was, I think the New York Times called it the must-read transcript.
They did, yes. The Utney reader said that you should read this. You like the
Utney reader said, stop reading Utney.
Yeah.
Start reading Trump.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, there apparently is no one sees it any other way. And people listening, whoever they like if they're from the left and they and I'm going after AOC. Oh, I don't like this show. And if they're Trumpers, they go through, oh, I don't like this show. Here's the way it is. I not only don't give a damn about your favorite politician today, I will never give a damn about your favorite politician tomorrow. I'm not a fool. Do yourselves a favor. Join me. What's next?
I don't even know how to follow that.
I'll tell you how you follow it, by doing your damn job.
The NBA, Eric, is scrambling after Rockets owner Daryl Morey's pro-democracy Hong Kong tweet. They're scrambling all over the place. Adam Silver was actually speaking this morning. He's the commissioner of the NBA.
Yeah.
And he's kind of
He
saying...
wasn't speaking. He was groveling. He was pandering to the Chinese, just like everyone else who's doing business over there. This is sickening. It's disgusting. But you know what's more disgusting than that? 90% of the people listening to me now consider themselves interested in current events and haven't given a damn about what's going on in Hong Kong since day one. What's going on in Hong Kong, Eric? Are people fighting for their rights? No, not really. People have their rights, and they're being taken away. People are fighting to keep their freedom. But as long as you know about Hailey Bieber's wedding dress and which housewife is the bitch, you've got your freedom, and it looks to me like you're using it to the furthest extent that you can get out of your freedom by knowing which soap opera characters are most important to you. Who gives a damn about these people in Hong Kong fighting not to lose their freedom? Yeah, all these companies that are dealing with China, and also the president, who hardly ever brings up human rights. There's so much crap going on in China, and then there's a billion people for your products, and therein lies the problem. But I don't like the hypocrisy. You know, the Apples of the world that won't speak up against China. Google, who will change things because they want to be around. I think Google does less than, in that sense, in China than Apple does. But, you know, these companies, these tech companies, will get on their high horse. You know, if there's a shooting incident and if there's any kind of so-called social justice situation in this country, oh, Tim Cook and Apple, they want you to know. They care about the oppressed. Apple's on the side of the oppressed, just not in China. Because there's a billion people over there, and they're really good workers, and they'll do work that Americans won't do for a lot less. So we're really on the side of the oppressed in America. But in China, hey, you know, they got a whole different thing over there, and we don't care. So they'll spit on the United States when they feel like it'll help them sell a few. But no stance. Don't give me a moral stand. If your moral stand only applies to Western countries, guess what? You have no morality to stand on. You know, it's not just the Hong Kong thing with China. You know, it's and Taiwan and these companies that just, we don't care. The Houston Rockets are apologizing because they said, we support people who want freedom in Hong Kong. What the hell, is the world upside down? That Americans are apologizing for being public about supporting people who are fighting for their rights on this planet? Whoever you are listening to me now, you're never going to meet a bigger capitalist than the one you're listening to right now. Morality doesn't come from the system that you're in. Morality comes from within. Now, there's an awful lot of Chinese who have nothing to do with their government, and you probably do want to serve them with your products. But there should be a line. An American corporation apologizing to a dictatorship, a one-party state, because somebody here, people here, publicly let people know that these Americans were in favor of free speech and freedom in Hong Kong? That is sick. But also, on the China thing, it's also opened my eyes a little bit on the BS with so-called jihad against the West, jihad against the United States. I've always thought it was baloney. I've never really thought it was sincere. I think it's like, we like to fight, you're the big cat on the block, let's fight, more than anything else. And now with China, what do they have? I think it's 1 million, if not 1 million, hundreds of thousands of Muslims in concentration camps because it's anathema to the Chinese that you would worship anything other than the government. So it doesn't just happen to Muslims. It happens to, what is that other group of Falun?
Oh, Falun Gong.
Yeah. Anytime you indicate that you might worship something outside of government, it's not only slap on the wrist, it's like, no, concentration camp time. We can't let this spread. So my point being that, jihad against the United States. Do we have concentrations? And by the way, I'm not going to, Guantanamo Bay does not count. That's a place for prisoners of war.
What about the border?
Yeah, same thing, yeah. I mean, these are there's 1 million Muslims in concentration camps in China. Anybody heard about the latest jihad against China? I haven't. It's BS. This show exists to get you to cut through the clutter and to not have to put up with stupid rhetoric and ideas of why people do things. The so-called jihad against the United States is BS. It's an excuse to fight. That's all that it is. When you see terrorists beheading people who are innocents, they're not in the government, they're not ambassadors even, they're just people who lived in a country. And then you're going to buy into the idea that some sort of internal anger at political systems made that happen? No, these are serial killers who like to kill, who found a reason so that they don't have to be all alone. Only a serial killer who likes killing will, with their own hands, cut another person's head off, hold it up, and walk around. That's about the person. That's not about a policy. That's not about America taking over oil fields in the 50s. That's about a guy who likes to cut other people's heads off. Serial killers have more honor than terrorists because they admit, we just do it for the fun. In reality, every time you've seen a terrorist cut off a Westerner's head, you were stupid to believe any rationalization. Just like the serial killer, they were just doing it for the fun. They think it's fun. They don't think cutting one man's head off is going to change any policy. It's all BS. So you said something earlier off air, Tim Andrews, which is probably true. The reason the Muslims are not having jihad against China when there's 1 million Muslims in concentration camps is because the Muslims know the Chinese are a one-party state that doesn't have to deal with Congress and they can just come and wipe them out. They can wipe them out for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. There's no one to pull the Chinese back. In this country, the citizens, the voters, will have enough bloodshed at some point and tell their leaders, that's enough. In any war. We're tired of bloodshed on our side, their side. It's not worth it anymore. You think if the Chinese unleash, retaliate against terrorism, you think they're going to be held back by anybody? Or do you think that government's going to give one damn about what one Chinese citizen thinks about the whole thing? No. It's all BS. There are people in this world who enjoy violence. Most as spectators, they're sick enough. But then there are actors on the world stage who enjoy when their hands are bloody. And they're no different than serial killers. Stop letting sociology professors convince you that it wouldn't have happened if we wouldn't have pulled these levers in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s. They don't care. They love cutting people's heads off. It's hard to relate to. But then again, so are serial killers. So much rationalization for so much that goes on. The world is not easy, but it's simple. It's usually the most simple explanation of things that are true. So why are the Houston Rockets apologizing that their owner, God forbid, an American, tweeted his support for freedom in Hong Kong? Cut through every bit of ridiculous clutter. They're selling tickets over there. They're selling jerseys over there. Yao Ming, who was a Houston Rocket, is a national hero. And they don't want to stop selling that stuff. And if they're going to follow up on that tweet and the reaction to it, At least they could be honest. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Hey, you know what? We want them to be free, but we're in pretty deep here, and we're selling a lot of product in China. We've looked at the cost-benefit ratio, and we're going to stick with go ahead and do whatever the hell you want in Hong Kong because we got 1 billion people to sell basketball product to in China.
You had a rare moment over the weekend too, where politicians on both sides of the aisle agreed with each other. You had Ted Cruz, who obviously is connected through Texas, and Beto O'Rourke, who's running for president.
I'm surprised that once Beto found out that Ted agreed with him, they didn't flip and say that now I'm in favor of the Chinese.
I think when you really have to look at something like that,
please. Are you still in the race?
I'm right there at 1.5.
Okay.
Keep donating. We're going to get on that stage.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is, and China has a lot of really good ideas.
Yeah. Once you found out Ted Cruz was on your side, you decided it better be on China's side.
Right, because Ted Cruz is wrong about everything.
Can you imagine? It goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Like for people who listen to this show, if they listen in one point and I'm talking about somebody, they assume I'm this, and somebody else, it's that. I don't have favorite politicians. And I'm thinking as I'm taking my walk in the break there. Can you imagine having a favorite politician? How foolish! If you have a favorite politician, you better be on the payroll. Like some people get paid to campaign for somebody. That's a job. And I'm sure if you're going to do that for a living, you're going to align yourself with people who more or less you agree with on policy.
I have an Abraham Lincoln T-shirt.
That doesn't count. That's somebody who's long gone. They're done with their work. You can judge them. A favorite politician. A favorite politician. Always, 100% of the time, a stupid idea having a favorite politician.
Autumn is 100% correct, Eric. Women are relationship driven. Get that through your thick head.
Get it through your thick head, Eric.
Everybody's on me.
Get it through your thick head, Eric.
Got it. It's not news to me that women are interested in relationships. This all started because I was asking why women care about who celebrities are dating or what other kind of stuff. I knew that they were interested in relationships. I just can't figure out why. I cannot relate to why. And then my assumption is after they read the story about the relationship that's breaking up between the two celebrities that Eric doesn't care about it, then they go and they talk about it with one another.
Of course.
And to me, how do you not just immediately fall asleep? Who the hell cares? And do you care about what? I don't even care. I've lived in the same neighborhood for 20 years. Outside of the 3 or 4 houses to my left and my right, I basically don't know anybody in the neighborhood. I don't care about their business.
You don't care about the Robinsons down the street?
No, I don't care.
Did you hear about what their daughter was doing?
Yeah. I don't care. But over the years, a few times, the ladies.
She brought home a Presbyterian.
Yeah, the lesbians. I was going to say the lesbians. I don't know. The ladies.
The lesbiterian.
Yeah, the ladies in the neighborhood from time to time will start some gossipy kind of thing. I don't care. I don't know the Hendersons. Their life is their life. As long as they don't bother me, I'm not going to bother them. I'm not going to get in their way. They don't get in my way. Everything's cool.
No, you're not getting in their way. You just want to know the path.
Why?
Why? It's fun.
What's
it's fun
interesting
to hear about it. It's our sports. Get over it.
I know it's your sports, but at least in sports, there's some element of, what? I don't know. You don't know.
People get hurt.
Like a ball.
People get hurt.
There's skill. There's skill involved.
There's skill in relationships.
Yes.
The fact that the Baldwins and the Biebers connected like that, I mean, that is a power couple now.
Yeah, who really cares? I mean, if you said to me, hey, the Baldwins and the Biebers are now one family, and I could go, yeah, I guess that's kind of, but as far as caring, why would you care?
Look at a celebrity married for 30 years to the same actress. That's like being the Patriots of the relationship world.
Yeah, and so, but again, if it's an actor and an actress and you tell me they've been married for 30 years, I'm going to put $1,000 down on the fact that each of them have had more than one affair.
Roseanne is like the Bills. She just can never win.
Whoa, why is she coming after me here? Are you talking about the 4-1 Bills?
And they've only
lost once.
They've only lost one game this year?
Oh.
Is that what Yeah, way to go. You want to apologize to me? You want to apologize?
Sorry,
you must
Get
have
it through your
confused.
thick head, Eric.
This is my role. I'm supposed to know
okay.
about sports.
Don't even know the name of the quarterback. Why don't you just shut your mouth?
I know the name of the quarterback.
What's his name?
Let's say it together.
That's not his name.
Josh Dillon.
No, that's not Josh Dillon. Yes.
Isn't it funny? The girl on the show doesn't know about sports.
Yes, this has been this misogyny moment has been brought to you by the Von Haessler Doctrine.
The views and opinions expressed on the Von Haessler Doctrine do not reflect the official policy or position of WSB.
But they do. Behind the scenes, they won't admit it.
Oh, of course.
Oh,
The most misogynist bunch I've ever worked for. That's just a joke. Why do I have to say that now? That's just
because you care. Because you
Do you know,
care.
I was on my NASCAR podcast with Doug Turnbull and Fireball Turnbull. That's and the great Dan Elliott. And I was, even though I'm not politically correct, I have a lot on the line now. I'm building this empire. People love it. The only thing that could stop it is some sociology professor, who gets the station one day for 10 minutes. And so I'm aware of everything I say, even though I'm not politically correct. And there really has been a chilling effect put on people by this. I hate to use the term political correctness, but that's what you understand if I say it. So it came up about stuff. But anyway, there's Daniel Suarez. He's a Mexican national, and he's a driver in NASCAR. And we were talking about sponsorship and stuff like that. And I was saying something positive, but in my mind, I'm like, uh-oh, look out, be careful. I was saying that, just something along the lines that opens up more opportunities as far as sponsorship goes because, he's the only Mexican driver, right? So you could have all kinds of different things that might be interested in being on that car that wouldn't be on other cars. But the whole time, while I'm saying something perfectly positive, knowing that I am a lover of all people, in my brain, I started, be careful, look out. And it's so insincere. I know who I am. I know what I mean. So I'm not really reacting to myself. It's like, look out. There are stupid people who could be listening who have never achieved anything in their lives except maybe getting you thrown off the air. Like that'll be their biggest achievement in their life. It's a chilling effect. We'll see how people respond to that NASCAR thing. Maybe I'll get thrown off that podcast. Yes.
Got one more open mic for you.
Hey, Snacky, I saw that video too where the deer came through the door of the hair salon. Do you know how much that haircut cost that guy? $1.
Hey, Snacky.
That was awesome.
With your snackable content, people are loving you.
More fun stories tomorrow.
Snacky brings us the stories that makes us forget.
Makes you smile.
How polarized this country is.
Impeachment.
Exactly. Impeachment.
Yeah.
Impeachment and Smeeshment.
Tired of it all. Good news only.
Good news from Snacky, who comes in and brings us these stories that, let's just say it's the sugar that helps the medicine go down. Squirrel on water skis. Who'd have thunk? Suddenly, I don't care about how polarized this nation is. Snacky, you do this country a service.
Thank you. I do yeah.
All right, that music tells me that we're pretty much done on the radio side, but that means we're not done because I'm kind of a slave to WSB. So when we're not on the air, we're still doing our thing. Podcast 30. How do people find us?
2 places, Eric. They can go to the WSB Radio Facebook page or the Von Haessler Doctrine Facebook page. There's a little red box. All you have to do is tap on that red box, and you can see us and Snacky here in the studio.
Thanks for listening to the Von Haessler Doctrine podcast. Remember, you can hear the show every weekday from 9 to noon right here on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Podcast 30 is now on. I'm Eric, but you already knew that. Star of the show. It's my name on the marquee. Really, it all comes back to me. It wouldn't exist if I was never born. J-Rad is here, rocking the tunes. Autumn Fisher's still here. Tad Lemire from B98 point whatever. is here. I'm sure English Nick will join us. Tim Andrews just walks away, and I don't want to, it's a little annoying to me.
He had a long day yesterday.
He told you.
Yeah, he had a long day.
He didn't tell me.
Well, he had a meeting with our wonderful boss.
Oh, that was a lunch. It's not a long day.
But he had
Going to lunch is not a long day. It
can't
He had
be.
a lunch.
Wait,
that was
yesterday?
paid- yeah.
No, what's with today? He's just tired?
Yeah, he had to go to lunch yesterday, so he's tired.
Is that the reason why he's leaving? Is because yesterday he had a long day?
No, but I will just say this. Tim Andrews, as I've said before, is my diva wide receiver. I put up with more from him than I would anyone else because he puts points on the board, and there's just no denying that. To a certain degree, Autumn does the same thing, and she gets kid gloves too. Jared, on the other hand, I beat the hell out of. So, and you do your job too.
Well, I'm like Alex Mack, and I'm here every day.
That's right. Yeah, you're here. So somehow along the line, Tim Andrews has decided the podcast 30 is, maybe not. Like, I don't have to do it. It's he can decide to do it or not to do it.
He did ask at the very beginning of the show.
No, he asked you. When I started this whole thing, did I not say Eric Von Haessler? Whose name is on the marquee, English Nick?
That would be yours, sir.
Eric Von Haessler.
Eric Von
Actually,
if the
95.5 WSB.
Who is the leader of the Doctrinaires? Eric Von Haessler or Jared Yamamoto?
Alden Pritz Fisher.
Autumn.
Yes.
I second Nick.
So he goes around me, and he asks you, so he doesn't have to deal with asking me. And you know what? I'm going to let him get away with it because he's super talented. But I can't say that it doesn't annoy me because first of all, I would say yes, but I don't consider the podcast 30 optional. I consider it part of what we do every day and part of what we paid for.
It's a portion of it.
If you're not going to come to the show at all, do you want to be texted as well?
Me?
Yes.
Like you? Yeah, saying you're not going to be there? Yeah, it'd be nice to throw me a text.
Why aren't you going to be there?
Last time Tim Andrews didn't text me. Just wants to go right. I don't like this because I'm a good boss. First of all, I'm not even a powerful boss.
No.
I can't fire anybody. All I can do is say I don't want them on my show. I can't fire them.
You can make a recommendation.
No, I can say I'm not going to work. I mean, believe me.
And you have two bosses now.
I can say I'm not going to do this show
Right.
if that person's here, and then the other person gets reassigned.
You want them gone, they're gone.
Out of my show.
Right.
I can't fire them from
Do you have those kind of issues over there at your whatever thing you do?
Well, my issue actually just yesterday. What did you say?
He said,
I don't listen.
Over there at B98.5, where you do the morning show.
Thank you.
Tad and Drax.
The
lady.
issue yesterday, Kara's like, I'll be off on September 28th. And how did she say it, Autumn? She said, I'll be off.
I'll be off for September 28th, 2019.
Right.
I'm not coming in.
And I said, well, so what? Because, I kind of have this thing where if people are in their regular routine, we're doing our regular show. Like, I don't like it to have, like, if as soon as I have something different for people to listen to, Bert,
Right.
whatever.
Yeah, you got to keep them mesmerized because you got that big Bert over there.
Right, exactly. So she goes, I'm going to be off the 28th and 20 whatever. 2 days.
2 days.
I said, for what? For my birthday.
Oh,
is it a milestone birthday? No. It's not even a milestone.
You got to be kidding me.
Right.
What
Drex
happened?
took 2
It's
days
for
off
my
to
birthday.
move.
Every birthday is a milestone.
Hey, here's what you do.
How old are you?
I always ask this question.
Kara?
How often
I'm not sure.
So if you're a host of a show, in any show, I would ask this question. How many shows did David Letterman take off because it was his birthday?
None.
0.
Because he knew that the only reason anybody would leave him to go over and watch Leno is if he wasn't there.
If he wasn't there,
or
or it was a repeat.
It's not so much what he does; it's what he. It's driving people away. It's not bringing them in. Once you're in, you're in.
See, I'm lucky. I just have to talk to myself about my days off.
Oh, that's right.
I'm a one-man show.
That's right. If you're not going to go into Dr. Demento's tea shop or whatever it is.
Or Mad Mondays karaoke, yes.
Yeah, you just,
Are you ever disappointed with yourself and your own work ethic?
Never. I show up all the time.
Yeah, it's weird. Nick, you reviewed yourself and you only gave yourself 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
Well, you can't go too far.
No
over
raise
the top.
this time.
No.
So,
you didn't give yourself a raise.
No, he's honest.
His own performance review.
I just had one in March.
He's like, hey, maybe we could put some better scores on this performance review.
He does.
If,
I think he does it in a mirror.
looks like those pants are cheap.
It happens at 4 o'clock in the morning when I can't sleep.
Pants are
Me
down.
and the dogs have the conversation. Hey, here's the deal. For this thing of taking off for birthday with old Kira over there.
Kara.
I always call her Kira.
Have Autumn do it.
I'm in.
Oh, yeah.
Just have her do it.
I'm
No
ready
one's
to
gonna
go
know.
whenever you need. Tad, you're so funny.
It's almost like a
Great
sex
point,
robot.
Drax.
Maybe because there's only 3 people on the show and 2 get their names in the show. Maybe if you added
don't
her
care.
name,
Right.
maybe if you added her name, she would
Maybe
feel
if
like
you added my name to the name of the show, which I started with you, Tad, maybe I'd show up on my birthday.
Think of Autumn like a sex robot radio host. She's going to tell you all the things the other one doesn't tell you.
That's
True.
That's right. You can program me to say whatever you want.
people are silly about their birthdays. I find. It's when you're a kid, it's fine because you're excited, you're growing. You see people who are bigger than you,
Yeah,
and
you get
they
gifts
appear to
and
be
stuff.
having more fun. And you're like, oh, I'm getting closer to that. Like,
Right, excited.
Like I'll get to
Right.
stay up late or something like that, and you get the gifts and all that. But once you're getting into your late 30s, early 40s, then you start thinking, oh wow, this just means I'm 1 year closer to death. I'm not such a big fan of this.
Right.
You know when I can't stand with adults who are on social media? Like, it's fine if somebody, because social media will tell people it's your birthday, right?
Yeah.
And people will say, hey, happy birthday. I do it all the time. But when people actually go, hey, today is my birthday and I'm so thankful, I can't stand that.
I can't stand almost
Let us
everything
celebrate for you, mate.
that people put up on social media.
I got a thing about Facebook. My thing about Facebook, and
Your
I stopped looking at Facebook altogether because it tells me everybody who's died, young, and not just celebrities. So, like, every time I go on Facebook, it's like, oh, R.I.P., gone too soon. I'm like, I don't even know you. And it's not like when we're, it's
like,
not like when newspapers were around. I didn't go scrolling through the newspaper and look at obituaries to see how young these people were. But
no,
as you get
because you're on
older,
the radio, a lot of people who are following you on social media, you don't really know them.
Right.
And
so,
then it's always like, hey, look, I'm sad you lost your mom, but I don't know you, and I didn't know her, and you're bringing me down.
everybody's
You guys
so
are
young.
making a great point, especially you, Tad.
See?
Thank you.
I'm telling you, man.
You're so much nicer than the real Kara.
Thank
Have
you
you ever
so
had-
much. I could replace her and do a better job.
Have you, hey, you don't happen to do an impression of Tim Andrews, do you?
Let me go smoke.
Andrews, he's a handful every day. I'm proud of myself the way that I'm really good at
Managing.
I think managing, because there's certain days where, like today was one of them. I don't know if you noticed. It was a lot of no talking early on. Like you say some stuff that on other days, if his chemicals are meshing properly, it's like ha 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 ha. But I'll start things out. I'll toss a few things out there.
Yeah.
It's about an hour before the show starts that most of us are here, and we can start either telling dirty jokes or talking about what's online or what's going on. And then there's just certain days where he's just like looking at his computer.
Or doodling.
No, just this is before the show.
So you think
And
he's
he just-
mad at you, or
No, I just think he's just trying not to
Engage.
allow. He knows that he's in one of those moods, and he's trying to. He just figures if I don't interact.
I wonder if it's because he asked Jared to leave during the podcast 30 and
So he felt
didn't
guilty.
ask you. So yeah, he was like, I better not engage so that this might not come up.
So he was like a dog with his tail between his legs.
Yeah. Like, I'm just going to avoid the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm on my computer working.
How about this? I would rather the people say, "Hey, Eric, you know what? Suck it. I'm not staying for the podcast 30." At
Like,
least
I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah, I can respect that.
Yeah.
it's like
But
you in
don't
the
try to
60s.
look now. We're 10 minutes in, right? We got 20 more minutes. Was it really worth it? How hard is it to put in another 30 minutes?
Not really.
How damn hard is it? If you're not picking your mother-in-law up from the airport or something.
Well, we don't know what's going on. It can't be that he's tired from having lunch yesterday.
Did I ever tell you the story about when my oldest brother died?
Was this on Facebook?
Yeah, I give you the RIP. You didn't respond. No.
How dare you?
Yeah, he didn't die on Facebook. He actually died in real life.
Real life. I'm
So
sorry.
years ago, when I was with the other show, what was that show called?
Something, guys.
The Good Guys.
The Good Guys.
Smart guys.
The Smart Guys. When I was with that show, we were having a morning that was one of those great mornings. You know, as a morning show host, sometimes it just hits.
It's flowing.
Everything's flowing. And we didn't play any music, so everything was flowing. We were just laughing like you couldn't. It was
Firing.
one of those magical days where it could just keep on going. Ceiling was high.
You were getting
Everybody's-
along with your co-host.
Yeah, almost, almost. And then Tim Frazier, who was the producer. So this is like 8:30. So the show ends at 10. So about halfway through the show, it's going great. I get the producer says, "Hey, I got a phone call. It's my wife crying that my oldest brother is dead." I take that call, and I go, "Okay," and then I compartmentalize it completely.
I didn't know your wife was crying. You're making me cry.
Oh,
now.
no,
I'm
you
thinking
cry
about your wife
easy.
crying.
And
That makes me sad.
So I put it in a bin, and I walked back into the regular guys show, and for the next hour and a half, continued to laugh and go with the flow of the show. Because I consider that to be professional. It's show business. Every time you go see a play and you're looking up on stage and there's 12, 15 people all the way through the night, they're all people. They all have aunts and uncles and moms and dads and brothers and a brother in the DUI and the mother who's half crazy. The concept is once the curtain opens, all that goes away. And you do your thing.
Absolutely.
And that's the beauty of it, too. It allows you to kind of escape.
You don't think the audience would like to hear about what you have going on?
Hey, what's going on with that one dancer in Cats? He didn't seem, Rum Tum Tugger is...
Rum Tum
Tugger is a curious cat.
Yeah. with a mom who's too curious about meth, apparently. And
poor kitty.
She's been busted for prostitution.
Poor kitty.
It's not even that. Like, that's major life news, but it's not even that. Like, it makes me crazy. I'm not saying who the personnel are, but I've been on shows where it's like somebody just decides they're not in a good mood.
Yeah.
And they suck the life out of the room.
Yeah.
That's what I'm learning.
Ooh.
That's really selfish and horrible.
Well, I mean, but it's also people, and just I love Tim Andrews.
It's a human condition.
Some people can't, but here.
Well, I don't mean to fake it and pretend to be happy or something.
No,
but just
put it
because
aside.
you're in like a crappy mood doesn't mean that we all have to feel that.
Yeah, put it aside. Well, I think it's on us as host, the most professional people in the room, obviously, because the others wouldn't be here without us.
No.
So I think as the host, we have to, in an improvisational sense, somehow use that. It's like that's what I'm learning. It doesn't do you any good. We improvise, more than 90% of every show. So if I was a stickler and I was angry every time somebody didn't go in the direction that I want, I'd drive myself crazy. You got to let most of it roll off your back, right? And so now when somebody's in a mood or something like that, I try to challenge myself into how can I actually use that? How can I draw from that? Because that's my responsibility. Because English Nick, whose name is on the marquee?
Yours, sir.
And yours too, if you think about the word Doctrinaires.
Yeah.
You're included in
Yeah,
something.
95.5 WSB Atlanta's
No,
News and
not
Talk.
talking about the marquee of the show. That's who you're loyal to.
I was just...
These people.
These
people don't exist without me.
Well, I guess I'll leave too then.
No, you're loyal to WSB.
If I may, I came in here with a
Doctrine.
question. I came in here with a question today for Todd and Jared because yesterday
Is your accent real? Is that what it is?
That's not it.
No.
Okay.
Are you really? No, I know you're from up north.
Are you really from New England?
We all got together and watched the Braves game at the Brew House in Little Five Points yesterday.
That must have been a bummer.
And so my
It was a
next
good
question
game.
is, what are we doing this afternoon, guys? Come on, let's keep it going.
Yeah.
Well, what kind of sporting event is on? Are we going to watch
I don't know.
cricket?
I'm just asking you.
The
I liked
American
it.
Oh,
League.
you liked it.
I liked it.
Division Series
There was
today.
my
Isn't the
favorite-
AAA soccer club got something going on?
I think so. My favorite part of the whole conversation, after a couple of vodkas or gins or whatever Tab was
Oh,
on,
you a gin guy?
he started advising
People get
Jared,
mean on gin.
advising Jared on how to make a better podcast. I was loving it. It was like,
have you listened?
no.
Hold on. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. And have you listened to the Power Pad?
A little bit.
All right. And if you who have been hosting shows
Right.
if you give him some advice, I think that he should listen to that advice. He doesn't have to take it all.
Well, you know what?
I wasn't. No, you know what I was
were you
advising
drunk?
him.
You get a little obnoxious when you're drunk.
No. This kind of came around. This comes around to what we're talking about here. He was like, what was it? Some game, the next game or whatever. He's like, well, I've got the Power Pod to record. I was like, dude, it's a podcast.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You're allowed to not skip a baseball game so you can go.
You can reschedule the podcast.
Nobody's going to be like,
the
it
Power
didn't come
Pod.
out.
I am a professional broadcaster. My podcast comes out at 8 a.m. every Thursday.
You got it wrong there. Podcasting is not broadcasting.
this was the
Yes,
exact
but-
conversation.
No, Jared.
But I come from a
Hold on.
professional background.
Couldn't you go, look, we're going to do it on Tuesday this week? You would still be able to put it out on
We could get
Thursday.
everybody together in time. By the time we knew, because we didn't know, it was based on the division series.
You could lose a couple of those chicks.
These guys over here, the professionals, the people that I look up to, English Nick
I
on
was saying, look,
97.1 The River.
record it at 2 in the afternoon. Maybe Randy can't make it, but record it then.
You can't
Get to the game.
You miss out on too much though when you do that. So my first obligation is to the people that listen to it on their morning commute before Von Haessler Doctrine.
Never a problem with one topic. Neither host cares about any sporting team anywhere. So
That's not true. Greg cares about sports.
Yeah, he stopped.
He hates the Braves,
He doesn't like the Braves because he hates the stadium move.
The other piece of advice Todd had for Jared was to get better ratings and better clicks was just have Tad as a guest all the time.
Yeah.
That would
it seems
that's
to
what
move
I
the
do.
needle.
It's worked for me.
Yeah.
That's what,
Tad said he
I
wanted
was
to be
nothing
my
in this town.
Tons of comments.
Tad said he wanted to be
by
my
the way,
man on the street guy.
None of this is true.
Yeah?
All I told him was skip your podcast, dude. Watch baseball.
First of all, Tad,
that's all I said.
you have to admit
Let the people down is
that
what he said.
you have blacked out more than once while drinking in your lifetime.
No.
No?
I've gone to bed.
Yeah?
I've fallen asleep.
You get a little mouthy when you get drunk.
I've fallen asleep at the bar.
Is this true? Oh, really? Are you one of those guys?
I mean, in the past.
What, some corner pub in New England somewhere?
Yeah, the Safari Lounge.
Sorry. Hey. I don't care about
But
Robert
if you get
Kennedy.
up at 4 o'clock in the morning and it's a Friday night and your friends are out, it's 11 o'clock, and this is pre-Red Bull,
Yeah.
what are you supposed to do? Just take a little nap.
Take a little nap down there at the end of the bar.
I'm still here. It's not as present.
The bartender you probably went to high school with or something. That's Tad. Sad. He said he was going to be a bigwig in radio one
Prop
day.
him up beside the jukebox.
I don't have a corner. I realize that now. I've been here 20 years. I have no corner bar. In Western in Rochester, I had a bar that I always went to, a pub. Fantastic. Great place. Never any fights. I guess, but I don't get there very often.
don't live there.
Place,
What about that Buffalo Bills bar that you had talked about going to?
No, I'm not stupid. Listen, I figured this out. Hold on, I figured this out. All right, I'm from Western New York. I've been on radio here for 20 years. People know that I love the Buffalo Bills. That's kind of an odd thing.
You think they're going to the bar? And
No, I think, excuse me, Honey Trap, we'll open a bar that he can walk to? What's that all about?
You think it's creepy?
I think they know.
Hang on,
if they opened a bar that close to me, that I would end up in there, and that makes me think they're up to no good. They're going to kidnap me if I go in there.
Or
it's not that they
or
like the Buffalo
Eric,
Bills.
you're turning into a gradual recluse. You're not leaving your house anymore.
I have plenty of people over come see me during the game.
Gradual recluse. I like the chapter.
Hey, what are
of this
the
book.
odds? What are the odds that within walking distance from me is a bar with a Buffalo Bills flag outside?
This has happened?
Yeah, it's for a couple of years now.
I do have a friend that knows that I know you.
My wife goes there and she gets the chicken wings and brings them home.
Really?
Yeah.
So they see your wife there and they're like, where's the real guy?
We order them and then she goes and picks them up.
They know it's her?
Yeah, it turned out they have delivery, but the guy wasn't there last week. You know
My
what?
friend Chris was like, hey, I know you know Eric Von Haessler. I'd love to meet him. I listened to the show. You should get him to come out to some of these. Because we watched the Patriots together.
Yeah.
Like when the Buffalo Bills are playing the New England Patriots. And I was like, yeah, sure. Sounds like a great idea. Will never happen.
Well, I would, but you probably go to some bar with a Patriots backing group,
Fidel.
and they have a Patriots crowd there. I don't want to, because here's the thing about being, as I'm getting older, I said this the other day, I'm starting to realize there's a difference between want and need, and it's really an important thing. I want my team to win. I don't need them to win.
No.
But if I'm going to be around a bunch of New England people, and then, then we go to New England and they hand it to us again, I mean, how can I have a good time?
Well,
charity?
we're adults.
Hey, man, y'all right. Actually, I've started to read about that Patriots fans, apparently the tailgating culture is not all that great there. This is what I hear. And in a weird way, Patriots fans have come to sort of adore Buffalo Bills fans in a weird way. The whole tailgating kind of craziness that goes on. But it's easy to adore people that you beat up on twice a year,
I think that it's a
puts it in
friendly.
charity.
I think that since New England has been winning, that it's become a much more friendly crowd. We used to be angry, especially toward the Yankees. We used to feel exactly the way you feel.
Right. I don't. Here's the thing I was saying. I don't feel that way anymore.
Right.
I really feel like I want my team to win. But as I'm getting older, I'm realizing I don't need for them to win. I just want it to happen. So now when like that close game between the Patriots and the Bills, at the end I was like, I wanted it, but one of your guys had a cheap shot on my quarterback, knocked him out of the game with 5 minutes left. Now,
Doesn't sound like you're sour grapes
No,
over that at all.
I wanted the Patriots to not play dirty. I didn't need for them.
You wanted that ball to be fully inflated.
I'm completely over it.
Now, let me say, if your Bills get to the Super Bowl, you need that to win.
What?
If they're in the Super
No,
Bowl.
I want it to win. I'm not going to set myself up like
Don't
this.
Come on.
I have two favorite football teams. Between them, they've lost 6 Super Bowls. One to the same team that completely humiliates the other team all the time.
You're right.
My son, when that 28-3 thing happened and when it was finally over, because I stood up with 3 minutes left and said, I'm a pro. We need to start laughing about this now because it's inevitable. Before they even came out, I said, they're going to win. They're going to win the toss. They're going to go down. They're going to score a touchdown, and it's going to be over. So we need to start laughing right now because that's going to be the only. My son, after it was over, who was 21 now, so he would have been, like 18 when that game went down. He just said after it was over, he's like, it's Tom Brady. Because we're Bills fans and we're Falcons fans. There's no way this guy Tom Brady can know how many times he has absolutely sucked the life out of me and ruined. It's just not possible. I can't hold it against him because it's just not possible that he would know that my second favorite team is the Atlanta Falcons.
I would love for you one day to have a chance to interview Tom Brady.
I love Tom Brady.
That would be. I think I said this to Todd yesterday when we were talking about the games. I'm like, I can turn on the Patriots game on a weekend for 5 minutes and go,
I do think.
Okay, sure.
But I will tell you this.
And meanwhile, you know what Tad said? You know what he proclaimed? He said, I liked it better before they won. And I was like, nobody says that.
It's true.
Nobody says that.
I will take the first victory, but it was better because it was just like watching games, especially, okay, we're about to play the Giants this Thursday. They're the ones that like took us down after a perfect season. Mm-hmm. But like, how exciting is it to watch your team just beat up on every single team time?
I'll switch places with you.
I'm not saying that to be like, poor me. I'm just saying, like, it's interesting when you're a fan of the Bills and you don't know if they're going to win or lose.
They're spoiled.
Spoiled. I'll admit that.
When the Bills were losing all those Super Bowls in a row, I think by the time we got to, like, we were going to go to the fourth one, I said to my friend something like, maybe we ought to get out of the way and let somebody else do it. My friend punched me in the face. I don't think you ever get tired of winning and going and doing.
And at this point, it's about like records and stuff like that. But game to game,
but I will
you're
tell
just
you
like,
this, not to get too much into sports. I'll tell you one thing that I noticed.
It's a little late for that.
Yeah, too late.
Tom Brady. What I noticed about, because so far you have to admit the Bills are the best defense they've faced so far, and I think that one thing that's surely showing his age, Tom Brady, is he does not want to get hit. And he will just throw that ball away.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that defenses that are good defenses this year are going to figure that out and be like, you don't have to put him down.
Right.
You just have to get close to him. He's not admitting it, but he's feeling pain that he's never felt before because it's natural. Sooner it takes more time to heal. If you don't have to heal, you don't have to take the time to heal. I'm getting rid of this ball.
I feel like his team protect him so well that he barely ever gets it anyway.
The reason you think that is because he's getting rid of that ball so fast. He's getting rid of that ball.
Yeah.
Autumn's
the one. She told me that.
Yeah.
In fact, I stole that from Autumn because she said that. She texted me last Sunday afternoon.
By the way, as a Bills fan who has been beaten up by this guy, plus the Falcons thing, I still revere Tom Brady because I'm an old Ayn Rand excellence.
Mm-hmm. No, you have Stockholm syndrome. You've been beaten up by him.
No, I look at him. I sometimes take. Haven't any of us ever like said, "Hey, how would Tom Brady do it?" I mean, I can't go all the way with it because it's insane. But, I mean, it's like, how would that guy? He's a leader. He expects to win. He expects to – you learn things. But I would love to interview him. I'd have a blast interviewing him. I think it's time for him to move on. I think he could maybe go into politics.
Let's go back to the old days, though. The old days, before the Patriots won.
He's going to keep –
First of all, before the Patriots won, they were not the greatest team in the world. But for some reason, every once in a while, they would jump up and go lose a Super Bowl.
Right.
And you wouldn't know where the hell they came from.
87, 96.
Yeah, but I mean, in neither of those years, I don't remember anybody talking about how great the Patriots were. They just ended up in the Super Bowl.
Every once in a while, unless you're the Buffalo Bills, every once in a while it happens for you.
They did. They sort of backed into that 90s one, right? They sort of backed into that one. They were, but the first time they played these Bears, who were so cocky, they did a Super Bowl shuffle thing before was it before the playoffs?
I don't remember when it came out.
I mean, how stupid would they look? They would have been the laughingstock of forever if they would have done the Super Bowl shuffle and never gotten to the Super Bowl.
or never
even
won
lost.
It. Right.
Or even lost.
Well, it was interesting for me moving down here a few years ago. It was the year. So I moved here and I'm like, I can be a Falcons fan. What are the chances that they could be my NFC team and then the Patriots are my AFC team? And what are the chances of them meeting in a meaningful game? And it was that year.
That was the year you came here.
That was horrible. So I was making videos and stuff like
horrible? Was it horrible?
It wasn't fun.
For you?
It wasn't fun.
Was it horrible?
Jared is the most scarred person in the room.
Was it? Do you remember what happened? Because I remember what happened.
Oh, here we go.
We're bawling my eyes out.
bawling. You
yeah.
cried?
Oh, yeah. I had to excuse myself. I cried like a baby afterward. I had a big party at my house. We were all ready to celebrate. I should pull up the video of us celebrating at halftime. We were all just jumping up and down when they announced the score, and I guess it was. Yeah. I think it was 21-3 at that point at the half. Because we scored a touchdown early.
And then Brady threw an interception in the third quarter. You
right.
thought, this is
we
over.
Were up 28-3. We put the champagne on ice, and at that point, that's when the collapse began.
Okay, here's how horrible it was for me, and this will be very quick.
Yes.
Imagine your same very party, right? And there's one guy there with a Patriots jersey on.
Yeah.
That was me. I was in a sea of Falcons fans.
Hey, the first one the Bills lost, there was one person in the room that was a Giants fan. And she might as well have been autistic. She didn't give a damn how she was coming off to everybody else. So when that thing went wide right, wah! She's lucky she was a gal. We'd have taken her out back.
Yeah.
Given her the old Western New York.
That's right. Bills Mafia.
Oh, sports, you got it, but it's want and need.
Yeah.
Right, Autumn?
Yeah.
You want your
I think
team.
Autumn should be able to control the last 4 minutes of the conversation.
I don't want to hear about
fair.
Below Deck.
There we go.
Yeah, the new season
Mediterranean.
started last night.
What's the other place?
Below Deck is Mediterranean is over.
Where's the
now
other
it's
one?
on to Below Deck.
What's that, in the ocean? Is that in the...
This one's in Thailand.
Thailand?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I don't know. They're all sweating like crazy. They all hate the heat.
They're looking for lady boys.
That's what I was going to say, lady
Stow
boys.
a few of those on the deck.
Who's looking for that? Wait,
That's
they're
why.
on a boat.
Thailand.
No, they don't have an anchor? Anytime people tell me they visit Thailand, I think of Gary Glitter.
They're not. Do you understand what Below Deck is?
Yeah,
they're not visiting Thailand. Their boat is on the water.
They don't
Thailand.
ever go in town. Sometimes they do.
The people that are renting are like.
Okay, so there's a chance that a lady boy could come
They
back.
are.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, well,
but it's not about the guests.
No,
the guests are peripheral.
They go on.
characters.
They go on to the land sometimes, don't they?
Yes, but I'm saying you're not
has to go and get some noodles or something.
Some peppers.
No, he orders the provisions.
What?
Yes.
That seems crazy to me.
What
I get
channel?
them from Thailand. I'd wait till they got good noodles in Thailand, don't they? Am I wrong?
I've been
yes,
told
pad
pad thai.
Yeah,
Sure.
two things they're known for: noodles and ladyboys.
What channel is this
Thai food's
Below
good.
Deck
What is
on
this?
all?
Oh,
what is
Bravo.
a ladyboy?
Okay.
Is a ladyboy a lady that's a boy or a boy that's a lady?
A boy that's a lady.
Yeah, well, originally a boy.
Hubba hubba.
And then does the lady thing.
This is the show where they're like running a luxury cruise line. And
Yeah.
They have their guests and all that.
She loves it.
Cruise line.
Cruise.
I'm sorry.
Private.
It's a yacht.
Private
It's a
chartered yacht.
super. It's a super yacht.
Oh wow.
A cruise is like
And there's an
the
English
Walmart
lady.
of.
No, actually, what it is rich, idle rich people they rent the yacht for however, and it's just a bunch of jerks,
Sometimes.
Hey, you mentioned Gary Glitter. You see he's making some money from the new Joker movie?
Yeah, I know, I did.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
just saw that headline.
But you know, when I saw that, it's like somebody is trying to tear down this Joker movie.
Yeah, they are.
So
From the beginning,
One of our digital producers said it was so good that she fell asleep in it.
Oh,
well,
because she wanted
that doesn't
Batman
surprise
versus
me.
Superman, probably.
You know,
I don't know.
a friend
She
of
didn't want
mine
a real
saw
movie.
it. A friend of mine saw it, and he said, "Forget what they're saying in the press. I've seen more violence on the news."
Yeah.
And it's
Greg
just
Russ
a
loved it.
great movie about against greed and corruption.
Right. We're all against greed and corruption, right?
Absolutely.
Except for Autumn.
I love Joaquin. I
No,
think
I
he's a
love
great
corruption.
actor.
I mean, a
think
little
Phoenix
bit-
is awesome.
little bit of corruption. I mean, what would the world be without a little corruption? It's
Autumn
just
is
like we need
corruptible.
shame.
You're corruptible, right?
She
Autumn, for the right
was
price.
corruptible.
For the right price. We just lost her for some reason.
What?
Oh,
No,
you did?
she's
She's like her video is off, so she looks like a.
Yeah,
a
she's
movie,
pixelated.
martial arts movie
It's that
for
time
the
of-
70s.
It's that time of the month.
It's the
She's
pea time.
pixelated.
That's over.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, mark your calendars.
All right. Wait. Oh, is that what girls do now? They give each other. Oh, you did a human
made
being
it.
thing.
You made
All right,
it.
so the next one is scheduled for November 1st. So mark your calendars.
Hey,
the
look,
week before November
why
1st.
would I
Watch
care-
your butts.
Why would
The
I
only
care
man
about
that
your
should
period?
care
I'm
is your
past
husband.
that.
The only
I'm
man
past
that should
that.
care is your husband, Autumn.
Yeah, in my life, I'm past that. That doesn't happen anymore.
I'll be ovulating.
Been together too long.
The 13th through the 18th. 18th being the most
You know what's
fertile day.
great? You know the one thing that's great.
Excuse me.
You know the one
sorry.
thing. The one thing that's great about your wife going through menopause.
Yeah.
Is never again do you lift up the seat of the John
And find
like raspberry tea.
Yeah.
Never again.
I call it strawberry lemonade.
Kool-Aid.
I mean, it didn't happen often, but I mean, over a 30-year period.
Yeah,
from time to
every
time.
once in a while you find
She's a man.
Hey.
She's a busy woman.
Hey,
Yeah,
Jared,
every once in a while you find a candy bar in there left by your husband.
No,
and then sometimes you
not
find
me.
a
Not
strawberry
me.
lemonade.
Not me.
How were the comments
Not me.
today?
No, if you don't mean to. It's just you
No.
forget. You
no.
get in the shower.
No,
you
I
forget
don't.
the
I make sure. I stand there and wait. I make sure. No one will find a butt pack left behind by Eric Von Haessler. Ever.
I think Tad fit like a glove today, comment-wise.
Oh, cool. All right.
Fit like a condom.
I can't imagine.
That Tad fits the show like a condom.
I don't like it when other kids come and play in our sandbox.
As I've said all my career, to hell with the audience. All right. Enjoy yourselves. We'll be back.